Welcome back, everybody, to the GeoGuessr World League. I am Project Bloom, joined once again by Jake Lyons. Jake, say what's up.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Glad to be back. Excited for another great week of matches and cannot wait to get into it.
Yeah, it should be a great time. Guys, again, we're here to walk you through everything. Take a look at what's going on, see how the matches go. In this GeoGuessr World League, we have 40 players battling it out, 20 weeks, gaining points toward their world ranking, trying to decide who will qualify for the World Cup. It's a good time. We're joining you every week here to walk you through the games. But what is GeoGuessr? Let's take a look at what we're even playing. Jake, what is it?
Yeah, well, for anyone who's unfamiliar with GeoGuessr, the basic idea is that you are dropped somewhere in the world and you're given a Google Street View image, and your objective is to guess where in the world you are using a little mini-map in the bottom right of the screen. You can use any clues that you have around you, such as the landscape, the signage, the architecture, etc. And once you think you have a good idea of where you are, you open the map, you put a little pin down, and then the closer you are to the location, the more points you get, with 5,000 or a 5K, as it's known, being the maximum score.
And the way we play competitively is with our 3 different possible game modes. We start with a moving game. The players have 1 minute to move around freely with no restrictions, find whatever information they can, and make the guess best guess possible. Then our second game is a no moving game. The players spawn in and they get only one 360 panorama on the location where they can zoom, they can pan, but they cannot move up and down the road. Again, that's 1 minute per round. And if we make it to a tiebreaker, we get no moving, panning, or zooming. That's NMPZ. It's one still singular image. That is it. No moving around, no looking around. That's all they get. We can take a look at as well as the scoring within that best of 3. With 3 points being on offer, if it's a 2-1, the player who wins will get the 2 points for their world ranking, and the one who just took 1 game will get 1 point still, so that's good for this overall world ranking with 20 weeks. However, if we get a 2-0, since 3 points are available, the winner will get all 3 possible points added to the world ranking. Nice stuff, nice stuff. Let's take a look at what's going on today. Jake, walk me through it.
Yeah, we've got an awesome slate of matches for you guys today, starting up with Orlando versus V89, 2 of the strongest players in the league so far. Orlando, who was, I believe, second place at the Americas Regionals last year, and then reached the semifinals, I believe, of the World Cup in 2024. So it's really been like a meteoric rise for Orlando. He's improved so much recently, and it's been so cool to see that. And then V89, one of the greatest players in the community for a long time, but this is the first time we've really seen him on the international stage. This is going to be an awesome, awesome match. And then we've got a lot of really good ones later down the line as well. Lenley versus Sadziu is going to be a great one. Yannick, Consus, Kratsopan. Lots of awesome games to look forward to. And I can't wait to get into them.
Yeah, should be great. Also worth noting on this second schedule, the Sadzu Mu game is what we will get. We can take a look at our overall standings, however, though. As we can actually see, RC played a couple more matches earlier today or last night, depending on your time zone, and that took him up to first place now with 11 matches, 29 points. Again, today we have a little bit of a different schedule. No Europeans are playing today, so we did not have that earlier stream. Or now they will, but no Europeans had played so far. So hopefully we get a chance for some of those players to make it back up, but impressive to see RC up there at the top, 29 points, 11 matches. Good stuff.
Absolutely. And you saw our 2 players who are about to play, Orlando and V89, also pretty high up in the table. V89 is in that top 12 currently, which is the auto qualification spots for the World Cup. And we saw Orlando, he's a little bit outside of that top 12, but he's only played 7 matches, which is fewer than a lot of the rest. So he's still on a really, really good pace. As we take a look at his win rate here, 58%, 11 games out of 19. That's very, very solid. And 33-second guess time, I would say is about average. We'll definitely see some numbers lower than that and some higher. But he definitely likes to take his time. It's calculated. And I would imagine that V89 is going to be a little bit more fast-paced with his guesses if we take a look at his stats. Yep. Yeah,
V89 with that 21-second average guess time. Very quick. Not the quickest, but definitely up there. One of those younger players, we tend to see these younger players like to make these faster guesses, as we've noticed. And that 57% precision, that's very nice. Let's take a look at how those stats compare up against to Orlando's. Orlando, a little bit lower precision, but a higher win rate. V89 was sitting on a nice spot in the overall ranking, as you mentioned, but again, we see that overall ranking right now, V89 number 8, but Orlando 2 less matches and sitting at 18, so this could be a good chance for him to gain some points.
Absolutely, and the thing that I've mentioned before is that just a general benchmark that players are going to want to be aiming for here. I think if you can, by the time the league is over, if you can end up with 2 times as many points as matches, you're basically, as far as I can tell, going to be guaranteed a spot at the World Cup. So that's really the top of, well, that's the goal that these players are aiming for. V89 is, I want to say he was 12.7. Orlando was 12.7 matches. V89 was, I think, 16-9. So both of them are very close to that 2x mark, but just not quite there.
Do get the players in here on moving. A quick Sweden guess comes in from V89. That's that fast-paced guessing, that younger play style, that younger mindset getting in there, especially on moving. I don't want to move around. They do it, they get the guess in, but Orlando's someone who would definitely benefit from being able to move around. V89 not as much so we'll see if V89 gives him the time, or no, he doesn't. He's going to continue those quick guesses.
Again, the biggest difference that we saw between these two players in their stats was that average guess time. I think in most of these moving rounds, we will see Orlando taking his time a little bit more, seeing if he can get to some information, and V89 just really picking up the pace, basically almost just playing a no-moving game and just playing to his own strengths.
Orlando still, though, flawless currently, just after 2 rounds, but V89 with those quick guesses hasn't exactly paid off, though, again. Only on round 3 now, he does make a quick guess again. Orlando going to take in whatever little more info he can. What a beautiful location, I will say. This is very gorgeous.
Yep, beautiful southern Chile. Again, we saw V89, he didn't even move. Didn't even bother. Orlando in a very similar area here, though, so they've got a similar vibe. But I think so far in the first 3 rounds, we haven't seen a single piece of written information, a single sign for either of the players to use. It's just been vibe guesses, because that's the game that V89 wants to play. He doesn't want to give Orlando time. He doesn't want to look for signs. He just wants to go.
And it's interesting to note V89 was on the top of the leaderboard for a while, and even in moving for a while, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, back in the day when it was only moving.
Yep.
And I'm sure he would play just like this to get there, so he's doing it now in the World League.
Got a rush around. I don't know if that's this. It says Kurgan, I think, and I'm not sure if Orlando saw that. Orlando saw the sign on the left that you see on V89's screen, but I'm not sure he saw the one on the right that says Ekaterinburg and Kurgan. So he does still have it because he's got a good region guess, but I'm not positive he saw that exact sign.
V89 does end up being a little bit closer. That's his first round win there, taking some damage off of Orlando as we go on to round 5 in the moving game.
Yep, so that was the first round where we actually saw the players move and reach information. Both seem to be able to use it quite well. And we've got another round with some signs here. They both got the same one. We'll see if they can find these highways in South Korea. Did V89 even... No, I think he just clicked Daegu, yeah.
Saw Daegu on the sign, click it, go next. 48.
Didn't even bother with the road numbers. Again, I feel like that round probably would have been fairly easy to just zoom in and find the roads, but the players just didn't really bother with it. They were like, Daegu's close enough. Move on, go next.
Going to round 6 now, a little Kenya. Again, V89, these insane guesses. He's playing like MK at this point. MK, our fastest guesser. V89 is looking to take that spot from him, possibly. Orlando to follow guesses. West.
Ends up being south of the bay, Lake Victoria. The western... those parts of Kenya look so similar to each other. The part north of the bay, the part south of it, and the part where V89 clicked north of Nairobi. All very green, very hilly, and very tricky to tell apart.
Going to round 7 now. 4 times damage. The multis are big. Orlando still at a very good health here. Basically only taking about 500 damage, so he's sitting pretty. Wants to keep that going. Quick zoom here from V89. What did he see on the truck?
Prince Edward Island, it said on the truck, and Orlando does not see that. So we'll see if he gets the right province, but it's not obvious, especially from a coastal location like this. It's a little unusual for Prince Edward Island. We'll see, but he's not in the right area.
Oh, he's not. This is going to be big points for V89, especially considering that multi 4 times damage. That's a 2,400 hit to Orlando's health. V89 now takes the lead going into round 8.
And we see V89, I mean, he's still able to move around and find info when he needs to. He just doesn't usually choose to. When around is rural enough, he just trusts his instincts. But really nicely played by V89, reaching that info and using it well.
He's got a very specific region guess here. He's looking for a road that lines up possibly on what looks like the E10. Orlando opting very coastal.
Different area, yeah. So I wouldn't have guessed. Oh, Salinas. Well, Salinas is exactly there. Does Orlando see that sign? Or does he? Oh, no, he does, yeah. Okay, so they both have the sign for Salinas. But does 89 know? He doesn't. He doesn't know where Salinas is.
He doesn't. He's just clicking middle.
Yeah, Salinas is a pretty large coastal city, which Orlando does have. But it might be bait. I don't know.
Yeah, he's moving the guess. I think it would be a lot more flat over there, possibly, and maybe the players know that.
Right.
Wow,
yep.
That's exactly where V89 first zoomed. Almost on that exact location. If he had gone there, he would have won the game right there. He still takes a big hit to Orlando's health, though.
Yep. Yeah, it was interesting because it didn't look like Salinas, but I would be the type of person to just zoom into that, be like, okay, I know where that is, and immediately click it.
You trust the signs.
Yep. I trust him a little too much sometimes. There's a sign, it looked like to the right. No, I guess V89's not going to bother with it. He will. Orlando... Is it must say Napoli?
Oh,
see,
yep.
V89 skipped past that sign. It was right there, and he went by it.
If V89 doesn't make a good region guess off this with no information, we could actually see a little reverse here, and Orlando could take it.
Oh, he's going Genoa.
V89's going very far
game.
north. Wow. With the 5 times multiplier, that wins Orlando the moving game. What a back and forth.
What a back and forth. And we saw V89. It was on his screen, that big billboard, but he just skipped by it. He probably didn't see it or didn't realize that he should look at it. But yeah, again, that's the more sort of no-move NMPZ inclined player that V89 is. Sometimes he's going to miss clues like that, and Orlando was just a little bit more attentive, was able to find that, track the info down, and win the game.
And it's still crazy to think that on that Ecuador round there, if V89 had just done the road that he was really zoomed in on, he could have won the game there. Ends up losing, though. We on to no moving.
Here we go. I think there's info on that sign. Is it Gapan City NE? NE like Nueva Ecija? Yeah, it says Nueva Ecija at the top. So Nueva Ecija is a province in central Luzon, a little bit north of Manila. It looks like maybe neither of them knows that, or maybe just doesn't see it. But V89 just looks like he's going to click middle of the Philippines. But this is going to be north of Manila. We'll see if Orlando's able to see that. He is zooming there. It looks like he's scanning for the city name, but he still doesn't see the thing that says Nueva Ecija. But he's still pretty close.
Yeah, I guess that both players don't know it. But they're trying to find it if they can.
Yeah, they are scanning for the city, but they're missing the province. So, yeah, Orlando will be closer here.
Yeah, great guess from Orlando there. With the only one-time multiplier, nothing there. Still a decent hit. Not a game ender, like it could have been later in the game. We do go on to round 2 here, though, but that's a pretty big hit to V89's health for a round 1.
Again, just in general, I would probably expect Orlando maybe to be a little bit better with written information. So I think V89's advantage is going to be rounds like this, where it's just rural, and it just comes down to pure region guess.
Orlando holds flawless as we go into round 3 here. Multis are racking up a bit. 2 times damage. Again, we are now on no moving. Players only get this one 360 panorama. We see some little yellow road markings there. Feels relatively indicative of the US or Canada, I would say.
Yep, definitely suggests North America. Hard to say which. It looked like V89 went for Vancouver Island.
This is hugely different guesses. With 2 times damage, V89 takes the game on round 3. It ends up being Washington.
Yeah, the foliage definitely, I would say, looked a little bit more western than eastern there, although it can be very, very hard to tell apart. But a really nice guess from V89. I think he might have been in Canada, and it was Washington in the end, but worked out for him. So great guess. Again, V89 just consistent with those no-move guesses and takes it to the NMPZ.
Very impressive. And his face hasn't changed. He looks just as locked in. We go to NMPZ. The tiebreaker. One singular still image. That's all our players get. And this is the round 1 image. We'll see what they can do. V89 quick lock. Orlando will follow nearby. Shouldn't see too many points. Orlando a little bit closer.
Makes a lot of sense with the sort of, I think it's September, I want to say, Gen 4 coverage you get up in Murmansk. Very, very common to see that kind of coverage there. Both players kind of just recognizing, feels like Russia, and if it is Russia, it should be that area. Speaking of possibly Russia, it's Romania this time, maybe.
Quick Romania guess from V89. Orlando to follow, right nearby. It is just over northwest. Wow.
Yep, those 2 parts of Romania look pretty much identical a lot of the time. But I did like V89's guess. The area east of Bucharest especially is really, really sort of just empty, devoid of a lot of stuff. So I think where he guessed makes a lot of sense. It can always be the Beatty Northwest. This
looks
a little bit more
hard.
trouble, though.
We're on round 3. We got 2 times damage. We lost our previous game on round 3. Will it happen again? Very difficult round. Very quick guess from V89. Indonesia, Kalimantan. Orlando gonna go Sumatra, though. It looks like he's debating Cali. He switches. Wow. V89 ends up being just a little closer. Belatung Island. But that's a big hit to Orlando. V89 takes the lead.
Yep. But a nice guess from Orlando anyway to limit the damage. That was a very difficult round. Even getting the country there was far from easy. So definitely kept himself alive. And he takes it to round 4, which I thought it could be like a Brazil, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
We see a Brazil guess here from V89. Orlando's still looking a little bit confused. If it is Brazil, though, home country advantage. Let's see if he follows. He does. He's going to Minas Gerais by the looks of it. Nope. Goiás. And he's on it in the right state. What a guess from Orlando. 2.5 times damage. That's a big hit to V89. V89 on 1900 health.
Orlando, he listed Brazil as one of his weaknesses at, I think, the regionals and maybe even at the World Cup, but I think he's practiced Brazil a good amount since then. Maybe turned a weakness into a strength.
Wow, V89 with a quick lock in the middle of the ocean here between Tasmania and Victoria. Or is he on a... Oh, is he on a specific island? Oh, yes, he is. He is, you're right. And he's right, he's on it!
King Island. What a guess. It's close.
Wow, that wins him the NMPC game. What an insane island guess. What an insane island no. So impressive from B89, taking Orlando all the way to NMPZ and winning the entire game.
Wow. I mean, it just comes down to really just kind of knowing specific landscapes and specific coverage. I mean, that King Island coverage, or it might be Flinders, I think it's King Island, though. It's very new in Tasmania. They just recently covered it in 2024, and I guess it pays to just take a look around that island, see what does the coverage look like, how do the landscapes look. 89 saw that, he was like, I feel like I've seen this before, instantly locked the island, and won in the game.
Very impressive stuff from V89. That's a seriously good guess. But that is not all for this slot. We are going to get another match in a little bit. It's going to be Sadzu versus Moo, which should be exciting. But again, what a great way to start the day. People have been waiting for Orlando and V89. That was the match delivered for sure. So good times to come. Sadzu, Moo, any thoughts there, Jake?
It's going to be another great one. I think I mentioned that V89 and Orlando were just a little bit below that sort of 2 times as many points as matches mark. Moo and Sadzu are both just above that, which is very, very impressive, and that's going to be a hard thing for both of them to keep up. But they both had super strong starts to this league, so I expect this to be a very tightly contested match.
Agreed. We see that 69% win rate, as you're just talking about there, putting him in a very good position, and that average guess time. Precision a little low, especially compared to some other players that we've looked at, even just today. But Moo, very different on the precision front, Jake.
Yeah, the win rate is about the same, the guess time is about the same, but the precision's very different, and I wonder if that could... just speculation, but I wonder if that could maybe be a little bit of a measure of luck, like how lucky a player has gotten. Maybe. I mean, maybe he's been less accurate in the earlier rounds and more accurate in the later rounds or something. I don't know exactly what explains that discrepancy in the accuracy, but Moo has been very, very consistent, and we will see if that's what's able to make the difference for him in this match.
Yeah, it seems like it's shown on the standings there. Moo in 7th place, 8 matches, but Sadzu with only 6. So again, that's why that's a similar win percentage there. But, you know, Moo standing in a very good spot. Sadzu just outside of that top 12. So this should be a really good match for both of these two players. Could really make a difference here in their standings and how we see everything playing out for them going forward. We get directly into the moving game. Sadzu, Moo.
It's like a Spain, an urban Spain here. And around this urban, they're both going to be taking their time and looking for information. But I would expect on more rural rounds, if anything, I would expect Sadzu to be guessing more quickly and Moo to be taking his time, because Moo knows how strong of a moving player he is, and he knows that he has a bit of an advantage in this mode.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a truck here with some information, but it doesn't look like it's given away too much It's possible there's a little town name there that maybe is too small for them to know, but maybe Jake knows.
I did not see anything that I knew. The language is Spanish, and we had some coast, which is helpful. I mean, a lot of the eastern coast of Spain, you'll see mostly Catalan. So it wouldn't shock me if... Okay, so they're in very different areas. Sadzu's in Galicia. Moo's just going southeast.
Wow, yeah, very separate for round 1. Oh, it just ends up being north coast, so we shouldn't see too many points. Only 303 there.
Interesting that... I don't remember what direction the coast was that we saw, but I guess I would expect... They saw the water, so I would expect that if the water was to the north, they would have guessed north coast, but maybe it was a weird bay or a strange water direction. But it looked like Moo was kind of just hedging in the middle, playing it safe for round 1.
Makes sense. We go to round 2 here. Players off. We do have a sign here finally. I think we saw an Eindhoven there. That's a pretty big city,
Yep.
southern Netherlands. Do they know the other ones, though?
Yeah, Venlo's pretty big as well. I don't know if Moo has... Yeah, Moo's got some info too. But it's not as good. I don't recognize any of the town names on Moo's sign.
Sadzu has
a road number and
bunch.
everything, so...
Sadzu
might
sees
see-
Eindhoven and Venlo and just guesses in between them. Moo is down there too as well, actually. So we
Might
actually...
have
pretty
seen one of
similar.
the other ones? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, very similar guesses, but Sadzu a little closer. Quick little 32 points.
I would imagine that Moo probably found one of the towns on the sign that he had, and those were smaller towns, so nice job to him scanning and actually finding them. The most distinctive road in the world, probably.
Yeah.
Certainly one of them.
This is a road in southern Chile near Punta Arenas. Arenas is where people know it. It goes up. It's the 9 right there. We do see it on Sadzu's screen. Moo is there as well. We do have some signs too. So they should be able to line this up pretty well.
Yep. So you see this concrete road with these triple yellow road lines. You won't really see this anywhere else in the world, especially with this landscape. So, yeah, I think it's one of the most unmistakable roads in the world for sure. And any pro that gets it in this league is going to know this road. See if somebody can find the 5K.
Moo's locked something in here. I think he feels relatively good about it too, so we'll see if Sadzu follows. They are very close to each other, so really we shouldn't see too much. Moo very close there. Not going to be a lot of points. 68.
Yep. Just slightly on the wrong curve of the road. He's one curve over to the east. But, yeah. Great guesses from both, but again, around like that, very unlikely to make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. Thailand, on the other hand, could be a bit more interesting. I think Moo can read Thai, so we'll see if he's able to find something here.
Quick guess from Sadzu. Possibly Sadzu knows Moo reads Thai, does not want to let him guess, but
Yep.
they both make very good guesses, just based off of the region guess vibes.
But you see Moo was in the right province, so presumably what he saw was the province name in Thai. And Sadzi was one province over, but his region guess, based off the mountains and the foliage, was still very, very good. So he took very little damage.
Round 5 here on the moving game. Both players moving the same direction here. We'll see. Moo has a sign. Do you know if Moo actually can read Japanese?
He can read Hakodate if it's written in Latin script.
There it is.
I'm not sure how much Japanese he can read. I don't think it's much, but Moo is one of the best Japan players in the world. Sadzu had the same thing, but he didn't see the sign with Hakodate, so...
Wow, he's going far south, 3 times damage. That could be the game right there, because Moo's basically on the 5K. That takes the moving game for Moo. Wow, so impressive.
Yep. So Moo, again, as I said, one of the best Japan players in the world, whether it's moving, no moving, or whatever else. But, yeah, it looked like maybe for a second he was trying to see if he could read any of the Japanese, and then on the sign behind it, he just saw the word Hakodate. I think Sadzu had the same sign, but he just wasn't quite able to spot it. The words were pretty small. So, yeah, Moo showing his moving prowess, and he found the info that he needed and capitalized.
We go on to no moving now. 1 360 panorama. I think this probably evens us out a little bit again. Moo, such a good moving player. We are back on Japan by the looks of it. And
Yep.
again, Japan, one of Moo's best countries, one of the best Japan players in the world. So we'll see what he gets on this. This is a very difficult Japan location, though. Really not much to go off of. It's just trees. Trees and dirt.
Yep. We will see, but it's a really tough one.
Sadzu a bit closer.
Good for the mental, for sure, beating Mu in a Japan round, even if it is just round 1. Sadzu losing game 1. But again, he knows he's probably the weaker moving player of the two, so he still feels probably pretty comfortable. Maybe this is what he expected to happen. He knows he can still win this. This is maybe Argentina. Interesting, though. I mean, I'd imagine it's more western with how dry it is, and it looks like we have some mountains visible, maybe to the west. But yeah. Argentina is a very tall country, north to south, so it can be hard to narrow down.
Seems both players in a very similar area, however. Yep, they both end up just being near Mendoza. Sadzu a little closer again.
Really impressive guesses from both there, it has to be said. I mean, that was not a very high information round. Getting the right province and even the right area of the province is a really impressive thing.
Round 3. Not too much to go of. Red Barn. We love it. Feels very Scandinavian.
Yep. Definitely Nordic. We'll see. I'm not sure if it's Sweden or Finland. I do like the Sweden guess. And they're both going to go for Sweden here.
Just in between them, west of Stockholm. Sadzu a bit closer again. Sadzu is holding a flawless here as we go into round 4.
Yeah, still not too much damage done, but and he knows he needs to win this, and he's certainly locking in so far. Australia could pose some problems, though.
Yeah, big country, big points, Jake. 2.5 times damage now.
Got that right.
Australia, middle of nowhere.
Maybe western here. I like where Sadzu is going. We have this sort of red tinged dirt with a red car as well, very common in Western Australia. Both players seem to agree.
Mu.
Not big points on that occasion.
Yeah, not big points there. But Mu's slightly closer. Does break the flawless.
That's something at least.
It is something. We go to round 5.
Rain here. It's interesting with sort of the rolling hills. Ukraine is often pretty much dead flat. I don't know if this rolling hill landscape gives them any clues, but yeah, I mean, we have the red car, which is how they tell it apart from Russia, and also the bad quality of the road is much more of a good clue for Ukraine.
Wow. Mu a decent bit closer there. That's going to be some big points after Sadzu started off flawless. Those multis have really racked up now. We go to round 6. It's anybody's game.
Sure is. A slightly riskier guess from Sadzu there, going fairly far east as far as the coverage goes. This round, I would imagine, will be Rwanda, unless it's Kenya somehow, but I assume I assume the players are going to notice.
Yeah, both
and you can have a similar car, but yeah, I think that this car is unique to Rwanda. And nice guess from Sadzu.
A very nice guess from Sadzu. Getting the right town there. Mu picking a farther north town. But Mu still holds a lead here. Round 7.
This is tricky.
This is a very tricky one. We have a quick zoom Taiwan here from Sadzu. I do like the guess. And he locks in.
The way the road looks, I do like the Taiwan guess. Outer white line, I do really like Taiwan. Hong Kong, that's also reasonable. Although I don't know if the plate on the truck. We'll see. Is he switching?
Oh, wow, he's not. He kept it there in Hong Kong. It is Taiwan. Yeah. With the multi, that's going to win Sadzu the no-move game. And we're going to go on to NMPZ.
Yeah, you can see Mu pretty frustrated with himself for that one. It's a tough round. I mean, it did look like the truck was maybe towards the left side of the road, although it didn't have a yellow plate. But then again, I think commercial vehicles maybe would still have white plates in Hong Kong, so I definitely understand the guess from Mu. But it's definitely a risk, because if it's not Hong Kong, it's not going to be anywhere near it. And Sadzu taking advantage of the mistake.
And we did see him debating Taiwan there at the end. He had zoomed in.
Yep.
It just didn't Looks like we got a Mongolia here. It makes sense. The green rolling hills like this can be quite common. Sadzu. Guessing pretty far west. Mu just north of the capital here. Ulaanbaatar.
Yep, quite a big country, and they're in different areas. It is just 1x damage, but we still could see some pretty significant points taken here.
I do think I like Mu's guess better. I feel like it gets more dry as you go west and the mountains get bigger, but we'll see. It is north there. Sadzu ends up being closer. Mu with a good idea there of kind of being in the northern part of the country.
Yeah, that area around Lake Hovsgol is quite green as well, so it does make some sense. But yeah, ends up being a good guess from Sadzu. This looks like Peru, although wow, they're both immediately going Cusco. I have, as somebody who's pretty weak in Peru, I don't know what they see here that's making them go Cusco. Might be some kind of vegetation flu. But
wow.
Clearly. They knew something.
They knew something. Amazing guesses there from both players.
Yep, I would have been in Lima for sure if it was me, so yeah, really well played by both.
That's fair enough. We go to round 3. Little South Africa by the looks of it. Quick guess from Sadzu again. Sadzu playing very quick.
Wow.
Mu right there too, though. They're right next to each other. Wow.
Wow. It's impressive, because that area, I've gotten fooled by that area before. That area sort of between the coast and that ridge of mountains near Cape Town and George can look really deceptively similar to other areas of South Africa because it's just flat and you don't really see the mountains. So impressive of both of those players to recognize that.
Round 4 now. Not too much to go off of. Some houses, dirt road, some small trees and shrubbery. We have a Bolivia here from Mu. Sadzu will follow as well, so not too many points. Again, they're making such similar guesses every round here.
Yep, so consistent, so close every time. I mean, we had the South Africa, we had the Peru. I mean, it's really impressive. It's not like they're just guessing the same place and they're far away. They're guessing the same place and they're right. And it's really impressive to see.
Sadzu, quick Hokkaido guess. We're back in Japan. Wow, and Sadzu was very close to that correct location there and moved a little bit farther north. Could have gotten some more points there, but he's still in the lead. He's still pretty close to full health here. Mu at 4,000.
I'm close to where the round that ended the moving game was, right near Hakodate.
Yeah. Is this ever Oman South? Yeah, it is.
I like the Salala guess, yeah. You get these sort of slightly greener mountains towards Salala, so I like the guess. It's really impressive display from both players here, I have to say.
It's a good little comeback there from Mu, just to get some more points on the board against Sadzu. Multis
for
are
the
racking
scores,
up.
for the scores to still be this high in round 7 of an NMPZ game, that tells you.
It's
what you
pretty
need to
insane. It's pretty insane.
Both amazing NMPZ players. I think I may be wrong, but I think Sadzu considers NMPZ to be his strongest mode. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that, but I mean, the way he's playing so far certainly wouldn't shock me. It does look like Mexico, but tough country to region guess. This could make a big difference.
This could end up being a decider here. 4 times Sadzu and Oaxaca, Western Oaxaca. Mu yet to open the map. He does go Mexico. He's going much farther north. So these could be really big points here if he keeps it there, and one of them is really close. We'll see. Wow, it's just north of Mexico City. That still will do it. That will win Sadzu the NMPZ game and the entire matchup.
Beautifully played from Sadzu, making that comeback. I mean, he really only missed one round in that moving game that cost him the game, but the other 2 games he played almost flawlessly. Mu took a risk with that guess in Mexico. I think that, you know, there are certainly mountains up in the northwest that can look like that, but there are also just a lot of mountains across the country. Sadzu's guess was a little closer to the center, and it ended up being enough for him.
Yeah, it worked out. Sadzu ends up winning, but again, such a seriously impressive game from both players. So many guesses right on top of each other that were so accurate, as you were saying, Jake. Great way to start the day. V89 Orlando, and then as well that Sadzu Mu match off stream. Harrier got a 2-0 over Rix. That's cool to see. And as we can see, that Mata Debre match that was supposed to happen, and all of Debre's matches for the day are great out there. Debre has come down with a bad sickness, so he's taking the day off. These matches still will happen, but they just will not happen today. They're just going to get rescheduled, so Debre can take a rest. But guys, that's what we had in the beginning. Next up, we're going to see Lenly versus Sadzu as the first match up. Should be good. Should be great. Quite excited. And Trickter V89 will be afterwards. Should be a good time, guys. We're going to take a short break, rest up a second, and when we come back, we'll give you guys those matchups. Welcome back, everybody, to the GeoGuessr World League. We're here for the second slot of the day, guys. I am Project Bloom, or Bloom, joined here by the legendary Jake Lyons, here to walk you through the games, give you some commentary, and have a good time. Guys, it's been fun so far. Earlier, we saw V89 2-1 Orlando. Sadzu got the 2-1 over Moo, and Harrier got a 2-0 over Rix. Next up, we're going to see Lenly versus Sadzu on the main stream, and then we are going to get to see Trickter versus V89. Also, during that little break, we actually had a walkover here from Rix. He decided to give the win to Kratsu without playing, sadly, so we will not get to actually see that match play out. We're all Ocean Man and Kent will also happen during the slot. We'll get to see what ended up happening score-wise after that. But again, Lenly Sadzu, we just saw him earlier play very well against Moo, so it should be fun to see him up against Lenly. We'll take a look at both these players, how they stack up against each other, what their stats have been like so far in the league. It should be good to see. Should be interesting. I hope we see some Lenly sunglasses come back. I think that'd be great. Maybe if he gets a good guess and he pops them on, we'll see. We'll take a look. But taking a look at our players here, starting off with Lenly. Jake, talk to me about Lenly.
Yeah, so Lenly has had an okay start to the league, but maybe a little bit weaker than he was hoping for. But he's got a lot of time to make that up. I think he's only played 6 matches so far, or 7 maybe. But he's got a 50% win rate so far, so he's doing okay. I think he's probably in that top 60% that he needs to qualify for the regionals, but maybe not quite in that top 12. That's what all the players are mostly aiming for. We see the difference in the win rate here. Sadzu 69%. Again, Lenly was 50. The precision was also higher, as I recall, from Lenly against Sadzu. The precision's a little bit surprisingly low, and I'm not sure. Again, I'm not totally sure what's causing that. I don't know if it's better luck. I don't know if it's just because maybe he's stronger in no move and NMPZ, where the guesses are more random in general, so maybe that's where he gets his points. I'm not sure. But either way, Sadzu has had an amazing start to this league. Again, you see 15 points in 7 matches is super impressive. Only down in 36th, but again, he's only played 5 matches, so it's a little bit deceptive. And I think we're going to see Lenly climb the standings pretty quickly, pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so, and this is his chance to do it. First game in a little bit here. Going to be very important for him to take a win here, or at least take a point for his world ranking if they go to game 3. The players are in, and they are ready to go. We're back. We got the, CCTVS camera here from Sadzu. The, upper far away angle. That's what I like calling those. Lenly almost has something like that, too. But quick, round 1, moving. Sadzu with a quick guess.
705 area code, I think he saw. I'm not sure if he knows them, but he's also going to go Virginia. And it's Georgia.
Just ends up being Georgia. 282.
Yeah, so the quick lock from Sadzu again. We'll see. We see that from a lot of players. If a player feels like he's disadvantaged in moving, that generally means that the player is going to send pretty quickly in the moving rounds. So, especially a rural round like this, I would imagine we're not going to see Sadzu move very much. I think he'll just get a feel for the landscape and make a guess, whereas we see Lenly moving down the road, maybe hoping to reach some information, but on a round like this, it probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, Sadzu in there with the quick guess. Oh, Lenly does see some signs. Is he going to know any of them? We'll see. No,
I don't know those towns.
Yeah, we're pretty far apart here. Lenly with a great guess, though. That's
I'm not sure if he
big.
saw the towns or if it was just a region guess. Either way, amazing guess from Lenly. And we see, again, Lenly, I would say, has the moving advantage between these two players. So maybe this is why we see the lower accuracy from Sadzu. Maybe just sort of the quick sends, the fast guesses, and he'll tend to make a few more mistakes in the moving rounds than the rest.
That could definitely be it, for sure. Seems like he also had that faster guess time, so maybe in early games he tends to make quicker guesses when he knows the multis aren't too high. Things like that. We do go in round 3 here. Both players are actually opting to move a decent bit this time. We've made it to that 30-second mark, which is higher than both of their averages, so maybe they're thinking, I see this round, this seems like I could actually see some information, but so far, nothing too much. Guess a community garden, maybe that helps, a trailhead parking lot.
They have area codes, they're different area codes, which is interesting. Again, I'm not sure either player knows them. Does that help? Grandview, Missouri, I think it says. And I don't believe Sadzu has the state here. So this could be major.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference. Couple states apart there. Lenly in the right state gets closer. 2 times damage. That's a really big hit. Put Sadzu on 2 health.
Wow, Sadzu on the ropes already just after 3 rounds, I think. And a really strong start from Lenly, showing his moving abilities. He's getting to the information and using it very efficiently.
Very efficiently. Round 4, Lenly flawless, and Sadzu just about to get out of the game here. Can he make a comeback? He needs to be closer pretty much every round here if he's going to keep it going.
So we've got Urban Brazil here. Most of the time what you do in Urban Brazil is you just look for a phone code. So both players will be doing that. Sadzu's found a couple phone numbers, but they didn't have area codes on them. But an area code would be massive for both players. São Silvano is probably a town, but it's also probably quite small. Ooh. Oh. I think Sadzu's sign, I think, says Espírito Santo. But Lenly's got the area code.
Oh, so they should be
different
pretty
ways
close.
of getting to the same thing. Yep. But Lenly can win here. I mean, Sadzu's on 200 health.
He could, and their guesses are relatively far apart. No, he moves it farther south. Now they're very close to each other, actually, so maybe no game here. We'll see. Oh, but Lenly is still closer. Could that be enough? I think it will be. He wins the game on round 4, moving. This is what Lenly needed right now, being so low on the world ranking. 5 matches, comes in. He at least has taken 1 point. If he can get this win here, that'll be very good for him.
Wait,
Lenly getting
what's
up.
He going and
is he
grabbing?
going to get sunglasses? Oh, look at the wall. Look at the wall of sunglasses. Oh, no, he's just turning the lights on. He's just turning the lights
He's
on.
preparing to put the sunglasses on after winning the second game.
Okay, I was ready. I was so ready.
Yep. We'll see if he can bring it home here. Again, I think of these two, Lenly doesn't consider himself a moving player, but I still would say of these 2 players, he's probably the more experienced in moving. So not too much of a shock that he took the moving game, but we saw just how well Sadzu played in the no move in the NMPZ in that first match against Mu. So I would imagine he's not going to go down without a fight here.
You know, I have a question. If Lenly loses this game, do you think he turns the lights back off for NMPZ? Maybe.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna say no, but
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. We'll see here. Round 1, timer running out here. Both in Poland, and Lenly beating Sadzu on his home turf.
Yeah, well, that's Poland for you.
Yeah.
If you think it's south, it's north. If you think it's west, it's east. The lesson is click middle, even if you're Polish.
Pretty much. We go to round 2 here.
Looks like Bangladesh. I don't know if there's going to be any written info. I also don't know if the players can read Bengali, but there's some stuff around. Looks like there's an address on this storefront. We'll see if Lenly can use that. Bangladesh also very region guessable, just based off of the things like the architecture, the copyright. Lenly's just going to go Dhaka. Ooh, Sadzu thinking about Chattogram, though.
Oh, he moves it farther north, but he is so closer. He is so closer. If he hadn't moved there, Lenly would have been a little closer, but still, both relatively far apart. That's 102 points down to Lenly's health. That's Sadzu's first damage so far of this matchup, though.
That's true, yeah. Not even in the moving did he take any points off, so...
Yeah, Lenly flawless the moving game in 4. Round 3 now of the no moving game, 1/360 panorama. That's all they get. Looks like we're in New Zealand. Sadzu thinking it's pretty far north on the southern island of New Zealand, in that little valley there.
I like the guess with the mountains in the distance. Sort of a north-south pointing valley with mountains to the west. I definitely like it, although there are plenty of valleys in New Zealand, so who knows which one it is. Lenly opting to go a lot further south.
Wow, that's a pretty big difference. 2 times damage. Could be some decent points here. We'll see. The timer runs out. Sadzu, very close. That's big damage for Sadzu. Round 3, 2,500 down. Lenly's now on about half health here. Sadzu really hasn't taken too much damage.
Again, Sadzu says, what the heck? Like, I don't need moving. Just win the next 2 and I'm good.
I genuinely wonder if part of that accuracy is simply because of his playstyle on moving, not usually opting to find signs and stuff and just making sort of random region guesses, and then...
What's interesting, though, is that his average guess time isn't that low. Like, compared to people like V89 and MK, seems a little higher. So I'm not actually sure what's up with that.
Yeah.
This is Tasmania, by the way. Sadzu is not in the right place here. I mean, we have a pole to the west with an olive green possum guard. Now he's in Tasmania, but that's a Tasmania. Okay, so Lenley has the 5K.
Wow.
Now,
Lenley
the
just
question
5K.
is Sadzu going to go Tasmania? He is. Okay.
Wow, but an amazing Lenley 5K there. We get the animation. Sadzu
Beautifully
drops the GG. That is hilarious.
I am honestly curious if Lenley, instead of scanning and looking for the 5K, if he had sent fast there, is there a chance Sadzu would have been in Queensland? Because Sadzu was initially in Queensland.
He was looking up there. Wow.
Identical Lake Coastal guesses here.
Identical guesses. You gotta wave. You gotta wave, guys. This is how the game works.
Yep.
It's the unwritten rule. It's rule 1 of GeoGuessr.
Yeah, so Lake Coastal, very distinctive lake. Second largest lake in Mongolia. I think Uvs is bigger, but Coastal is very large, very deep lake, and super, super distinctive. So, nicely done by both.
Quick guess here from Sadzu. Lonely to follow, actually going north of Eswatini, but it looks like he was debating pretty close to where Sadzu has guessed. Yep, now he's moving it over there, so both players very close to each other, gonna be pretty much on top of each other. It shouldn't see too many points. Gonna be a click go next.
It's quite close to Lesotho, kind of surprisingly so. I almost wanted to say it was closer to Eswatini given the long grass that we saw there, but yeah, virtually identical guesses.
Round 7 now. We're deep into this no-moving game. Both players in the green. Nobody under half health here.
This is North America, I think. I want to say this black. I feel like this black sticker on that pole that Lenley sees to the south. I feel like that's a meta, but I don't know where because I'm not good enough at the U.S. But I think there are certain areas where that's found a lot more commonly. Let's see what they go for.
Both players in the
Iowa.
same area there. I was gonna say same state, but Sadzu just a little outside the border.
Sadzu holding the lead, but not by much. Again, he knows he needs to win this to extend it to the NMPZ. Ghana, I mean, not a big country, but with 4.5x damage, it could still swing the match in either direction.
We have seen Ghana end games before, but it does seem like they're in pretty similar areas, southern coastal. Only lined up a road, not the right one though. Sadzu a little closer. That's a big hit. That's a big hit to Lenley's health. Sadzu holds a decent lead now. Almost 3,000 point lead here. Going into round 8, it's really coming down to the wire. Round 9, actually.
And Lenley maybe just decided to take a little bit of a risk going that far west. He was behind and could make the points up. I don't mind the idea, but it was definitely a risk. Didn't quite pay off for him that time. But this looks like the US, and the game could easily end either player on this round. I'm not sure I would go New England here. I thought it was more, yeah, maybe a little more southwest than that, but
US, big country. Big-ish difference here in the guesses. We'll see who ends up being closer. Yeah, it's very far west. But Lenley is closer by just a bit, and with the multis, that's a big hit. He takes the lead. We go on to our final round. Again, the players have a 10-round limit here. You gotta do it in 10. Whoever has the most health at the end of the 10th round, or wins it on 10, takes the game. Will we get an NMPZ? Will Sadzu take it? Or will Lenley secure a 2-0 victory, gaining him 3 points to the world ranking right here, right now?
all comes down to this. Not an easy round. You won't believe me, but I was going to say Missouri on that last round, and I didn't say anything because I saw them clicking New England. I was like, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure they know better than me.
I trust you. I believe it.
All right, so we have in Indonesia here. We have pretty much all metal roofs, which in Java you would see tiled roofs. So in sort of the northern half of Sumatra, You get a lot more metal like this. You'll also see it in Kalimantan, Sulawesi. I do like the Sumatra guess. Lenley is a bit more south than I personally would be, given, again, I would expect to see more tiled roofs.
This could be really close. This could be really close. Nope, Lenley.
Wow, he's right.
He's just right. And the sunglasses get put on as he wins the match. I mean, what a 2-0 from Lenley.
What a 2-0, and what a great guess to end it in Indonesia. Again, South Sumatra, probably not where I would have been there, given the way that the buildings looked. That's really impressive that he was able to get that vibe and was confident enough to send it. So I think a deserving round to win the match on there, and a beautiful 2-0 victory for Lenley, which is huge for him in the standings. Again, Satsu has been playing super well. He's above that sort of twice as many points as matches mark, but Lenley wasn't, so that's definitely really, really big for him in the standings.
Yeah, this is going to take him up the standings a decent bit. And I'm excited to see where he goes from here. I feel like we haven't seen him in a little while, so happy to see him back playing and taking a win, gaining 3 points. Really good stuff, really impressive stuff. Happy to see another little sunglasses moment. Love it from Lenley. But again, that's not our only match for this slot. We do get to see Trichter and V89 in a little bit here as well, which should be exciting. We did see V89 2-1 Orlando earlier in an impressive fashion, I will say. It was a pretty close game, but V89 did end up taking a nice dub here. So we get to see him again up against Trichter. Should be exciting. So any thoughts on this match, Jake, coming up?
I kind of hope it goes to NMPZ. I mean, Trichter, I think, is one of the best NMPZ players in the world, and I would say V89 is as well. I mean, we saw how well he played in NMPZ against Orlando. I think this should be a really good one, but NMPZ might, well, okay, V89 probably more of a no-moving player, but I think it would be really, really fun to see this tiebreaker.
Yeah, I think so too. It should be exciting. We're gonna have a little wait until we get there. But I think when we do get there, it should be good. V89, one of those players that people have been waiting for a long time, as we mentioned before. Young guy, we've seen the quick guesses and everything, so should be exciting to see. I also want to just touch, because we do have a moment about that the Rix walkover there on the game versus Kratzu. I do wonder what happened. I'd be curious to see if we could talk to him maybe after stream, see the mindset there. We saw our first basically forfeit so far in the World League, which is something I didn't think we'd see, but we did see one go down, and Kratsu did end up taking a little free 3 points there off of Rix. Maybe that Harrier game beforehand didn't make him want to play anymore today. We'll see. Things like that can happen for sure, but hopefully he regains, he bounces back. I believe in him. Rix has definitely showed some really great guesses so far in the league, so hopefully we see him make a return after today, maybe just not going his way.
Yeah, and again, I mean, there's what, 16 more weeks of this, and also it's not just the top 12 that the players are playing for. I mean, it would be great to reach that, sort of automatic qualification spot for the World Cup, but if you finish top 60% in your own region, you're going to at least qualify for the regional major, and if you win the regional, you're in the World Cup anyway. So there's still lots to play for these players, even the ones who are lower in the table. There's, if you don't make the regional, you're done for. So you got to play for that top 60%. But again, for every player in this tournament this early on, that's still very, very achievable.
Very achievable. It's so worth mentioning too, those regionals, which are going to be so exciting. If you can at least make it to one of those, your chances are great, because the amount of points you're going to get on your world ranking from winning one of the regionals or being high up at one of the regionals is almost, it's going to secure you the World Cup, which is super exciting. So I think those are going to be great this summer leading up to that World Cup in August. Should be a good time. There's also that open major, which I think about 16 players from the World League who didn't make it through regionals will still have a chance to play in, which should be really cool too. So there's exciting stuff to come. Lots going on. Lots of exciting GeoGuessr that we will have to take a look at. Should be good stuff. I'm, you have any predictions right now, Jake, so far after 5 weeks in?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's hard for me to say, because I don't actually know. You mentioned that, placing high in the regionals is going to get you a lot of points, but I don't know how many points. I don't think we know that. And I think it's pretty much guaranteed that the winners of the regionals will make it to the World Cup. But as for the people who play second, third, fourth in the regionals, how many points are they going to get? Is that going to be enough? If somebody is outside of the top 12 and then finishes second or third at the regionals, is that going to be enough to take them above somebody who maybe finished 5th to 8th, but was 2nd or 3rd in the world ranking before? Questions like that are hard to answer. So, I would imagine we see players like Blinky, Radu, Onsis, Finbar, who started the league so strongly. I'd imagine we see them, making it to the World Cup, doing what they need to do. But beyond that, it's really hard to say. And it could come down to the regionals themselves, whether the players are able to handle the pressure of being in that LAN environment. And it could come down to really just how they decide to structure the tournaments and the points.
Yeah, definitely. Also, you mentioned some of those players we were expecting, but people like Captain and Moo right up there as well. I think
that too.
Some of the most like surprising ones that we've seen so far, and happy to see them doing well too. Hopefully they make it through. But we finally do have our match here: Trickter versus V89. Let's take a look. Our players are finally ready to go, ready for action. Trickter, 50% win rate. Not exactly what you want to see, as we've talked about before, but we're only in week 5. There's a lot of time to go, and one of our longest average guess times. Likes to take his time here.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing about Trickter looking at his stats to me, is his average guess time being 43 seconds out of a possible minute is actually quite long. And I wonder if, I don't know, I mean, I think of him as an NMPZ player, but maybe even in the NMPZ rounds, he just likes to take his time. He doesn't insta-guess. He gets a really good vibe, really good sense of what he's looking at. Doesn't see any reason to rush it. So yeah, I would expect him to be taking his time, not only in the moving, but probably in all 3 modes. And I would guess that V89 is going to send his guess first in pretty much all of these rounds.
Yeah, we do take a look at their standings there. We see V89's much higher, but many more matches played, so it does make sense. So if Trickter happens to, let's say, win 3 more matches, he'd be right up there with V89 for the same amount of matches played. So this could be a good chance for Trickter to do that, get some points on the board, make his way up.
So we had Kabupaten and Pamekasan. So Pamekasan is a regency on the island of Madura, which is East Java. Now, he's close to Madura. He's not on it. I don't know if either of them knows their Kabupaten, though. But these Kabupaten, these are regencies of Indonesia. Oh, I think he may know it. I think he's in the right regency here. I don't know if Trickter saw it and didn't know it, or maybe just didn't see it at all. But we'll see what he's able to do. At the very least, we'll see if he can get the right area of the country.
Seems like he's on Java, but he's pretty central, so there's pretty different guesses, and an amazing guess from V89 to start off the game.
Yep. So he did find Pamekasan. I don't know if he knew what Pamekasan was coming in, or if he just found it on the map because it is labeled. But either way, really, really nice start for V89, and we'll see if he can keep that momentum going. Urban Brazil. We have an area code 13. 13, I believe, is west of Sao Paulo, southwest of Sao Paulo. I would guess that it's a bit west of where V89 is now. I think where he clicked is 11, but, he'll be close. And I think Trickter found the same area code, and I think he's a little bit closer to where it is.
Yeah, V89 guessed, right on the coast, which is interesting. Oh, we do actually... I guess we are right on the coast.
Yeah, so he had the coastal vibe, he just didn't quite have the right area code.
Yep. Just a little closer there. Just a little closer. But a chill start. And besides that, round 1, great guess from V89. We go to round 3 here. A little snow coverage. Love to see that.
Interstate signs here, 25. I don't know if they have a state name on them. It looks like they do. I can't see what it is, but I think the players can see.
Trickter's up in Minnesota, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, these interstate signs, I could see that they have the state written on them. I just couldn't read it. But I would think that the players would go and look for that, because, I mean, 89 is just scanning all over the place. 1687, we have all kinds of road signs. We also have a green sign in the distance for Trickter. Should have cities on it if you wanted to go to that.
Yeah, these players, you can see by the way they go about this, are not necessarily moving oriented.
No, they're not. Because if it was me, for example, I would be playing this round very, very differently. And we see just a little bit of uncertainty from both of them here.
V89's now all the way over in Wyoming, moved many times, but he is actually correct there in the end, that last second switch over deals 1,500 damage to Trichter.
Yeah, so I think Trichter, well, I mean, he found I-90, but he wasn't sure where along it. But again, I think some of the interstate signs had the state name written on them. There were signs in the distance that probably had city names, so definitely maybe some regrets from Trichter there. Maybe think he could have played that round better. But again, he's not out of it. Neither of these players would consider themselves moving players, so it's not too much of a surprise. But we'll see if he can bounce back.
Very particular road zoom here from V89. Oh, nope, he's swapping over. He's switching over to northeastern Italy. Trichter to follow. Pretty close to each other here, actually, so shouldn't see too many points.
Yeah. I don't know if we see bilingual signs or just Italian. All I saw was Italian, and I think, yeah, V89 still... V89 had a road number, but I think it was quite a small one, so I don't think he has that. But it looks like they're both just going to send kind of Trentino area pretty close to each other.
Yeah, very close. Very close guesses to each other. Quick little 5. Quick little 5, Jake.
Quick little 5.
We go to the next round. V89. Lots of points here. We are back on
Would
that
you look
road.
at that? Didn't I tell you? Look how distinctive this road is.
Maybe the most recognizable road in the world. If you've seen it before, this is that southern Chile road that leads down to Punta Arenas. All yellow lines, distinct landscape. Once you get the vibe, you'll never miss it.
Switch from Trichter, though. He went a bit more north.
V89 on it.
Wow. Well done. Didn't even spend that much time on it. He just kind of lined it up and went with it.
Yeah, he just goes for it. And it works out well for him. We go on to round 6 now. Trichter on less than half health here. He really needs a good comeback if he wants to stay in it, stay alive. He does have 3.5 times damage, so he could do it.
Sign. Abzakovo. Wait, why is that bilingual? It's bilingual. It's probably... I like the Ural Mountains because in Bashkortostan, you'll have Bashkir language and you'll have Russian language. So I imagine that's why that sign is bilingual. So I like the guesses from both players here in the Ural Mountains.
V89, right there. On rounds like this, V89 just gets a little closer, and with these multis and everything, and how big some of these countries are, I mean, these are both two very good guesses, but V89 a little closer, 1,000 points of damage to Trichter's health bar there, as we go on to round 7.
It's kind of wearing him down. I mean, his guess has just been a little bit closer every time. This looks like a Romania. We have holy poles with white bases, but it's weirdly dry, making me think it could be like southeast. Like, could it be like Constanța or Tulcea? Border crossing point. That's interesting too. Orașul. Yeah. Orașul, is that a town? Maybe. I feel like I've heard of that, but I'm not sure.
We'll see. Trichter zooming in. Oh, they're pretty close to each other here. Unless V89 decides to move. He has a town name here he's trying to find. And a road. Yeah.
The road number is the most helpful thing. But he's not... It doesn't even look like he's zooming in and looking for it.
Trichter's just on it. Trichter's simply on it. The 49997 deals 3,500 damage to V89. Doesn't give him the lead, but that evens things up. This is now anybody's game.
Yep, and my initial region guess of southeast was not quite the right one.
It happens.
But here we go into Russia. 4.5x damage in forest fire Russia.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is some pretty distinct coverage.
It is, but the thing is, the area that has it is very large. You can get it from Lensk all the way along the Lena River towards Yakutsk. Mirny, Nyurba, all of these towns have this kind of coverage. So this, I think we may see the end of the game right here. Unless it happens to be right between them.
Oh, last second town switch. It actually does bring Trichter a little bit closer. Deals 1,600 damage to V89. V89 in the red now, less than 500 health. That is insane.
And Trichter takes the lead. Neither of them ended up being that close again. that area is so distinct, but it's also so huge that it's still really hard to get close within it. And we saw that on display there. It's like a South Africa here in round 9.
This is big for round 9. 5 times damage. Some signs can be very helpful and common in South Africa if they can get to one, but we are in a city, so it's probably going to be more rare you see one of those green signs with the specific road numbers and things like that. But, oh, we do have a sign here from V89. That's something.
Kalkrug is probably a town, but it's also probably quite small. Diazville? Saldana. Oh, there's a sign with a boat on it, so that suggests coastal at least.
That's something.
022 area code. That's Cape Town. Oh, Saldana.
Oh, Saldana. V89 has it.
I think he has it.
Wait, if Trichter doesn't have it, this is game.
He's got 5 seconds. He is going Cape, but I think he's too north.
Yeah, no, he
Oh,
doesn't.
no, he's not. He's close, but
He is close, but it's a 4998 from V89.
Exactly!
The exact points!
what?
Wins V89 the game!
Oh my god!
I have never seen that before.
I have never seen that either. Oh my goodness. 1565 on the dot. You see him laughing about it. Unbelievable.
Even V89 cracks a smile and then tries to hide it.
I almost wonder if I wondered if we could get a rounding moment, because sometimes you have weird rounding discrepancies that cause the difference to actually be one off. So I was thinking maybe he ended up on 1 health, but no. 1565 minus 1565, and V89 takes it on round 9. Incredible.
Unbelievable. We move on to our next game. We're on no move now. Reset.
Wow. Gotta catch my breath after that. That was crazy.
No.
Thailand here.
Yeah, we do have a Thailand. And a quick guess from V89.
You have these square poles, dots all the way up and down. The poles are sort of like small dot-looking things. You have these lamps that stick out over the road. All very good clues for Thailand. So it all comes down to where in Thailand we are.
Ends up being a little farther south. Trichter a little closer.
Yep, Trichter a little bit more of a hedge there. But, I mean, with how mountainous it was, it makes sense to be clicking in the north of the country. This looks like the British Isles, but it's always a question whether it's the UK or Ireland.
That is the eternal question on a round that looks like this. Am I in Ireland? Am I in the UK?
Or are you even in Jersey?
Yeah, could be. Could be. We have an Isle of Man from V89.
Yeah.
I like it.
That could work. Rolling Hills, Gen 2. Definitely could work. And he's going Isle of Wight. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see 1.5 times damage.
It is the Isle of Wight. What a guess.
It is the Isle of Wight. Trichter. Insane
Wow.
guess there.
Wait, that's incredible. I have no idea how he knew. I don't know if there's distinctive coverage or if there's a lot of Gen 2 there. I associate that kind of coverage with Jersey and the Isle of Man, but getting the Isle of Wight correct on that that's a heck of a guess from Trichter.
Yeah, or he's just the GOAT, Getting the guess, locking it in. We go on to round 3, Turkey here. Quick zooms from both players, relatively close to each other.
Yeah, Trichter a bit more north, but I think you probably won't see too much damage dealt here. Both kind of just opting for central Turkey. That's right between them.
Right between them. Nothing too much. Jalotrus with a 5K'd.
Surely.
Trichter holding flawless. Round 4.
Might have info here. It's Portuguese. So we should be in Brazil. I don't know if we'll get an area code or not. Both looking for one.
V89 checking out this pole here. It's kind of cool light post there.
Yeah.
Really not a lot
Looks
of
like-
information to go off of.
No, they're both kind of just near Brasilia here. Oh, there's a code. There's a code.
There is?
On that pink sign. There is, but I don't know if they can read it or not. Maybe they
too far
can. Maybe
away.
that's why they're both in Goiás. I'm not
possible.
sure, though. It did look to me like a code, but I couldn't quite make it out. Trickter seems to be committing North Goyas. V89 is kind of jumping around.
89 closer. Trickter doesn't look happy with himself about that one.
My guess is that he saw the area code and misremembered where it was, but that's just a guess. But given his reaction, I think he probably, thought he had something and then wasn't right about it.
Yeah, and crazy from him going flawless to now with that one round, he has less health than V89.
Yep. Just shows how quickly these games can change.
We are on round 5 now. No move. Quick lock in South Africa from V89. Relatively central. Will Trickter follow? Yes, he will. Same area here. Makes sense by the look of everything. The landscape and foliage. These little shrubbery. Dry.
Similar guesses for sure here.
But Trickter!
Wow,
What Trickter?
on the road!
But he's on it!
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful guess.
Yeah, what an insane guess. He's really proven himself here in this no-move game.
He sure is. Trickter came to play. I mean, both of these players just phenomenal all-around players. But again, I think moving is the weakness for both of them. So in this no move and in the NMPZ, if we get there, we're just going to see it. It's an amazingly high-level gameplay. Interesting round here.
Yeah, we have a black Gen 4 car. We have a
Right.
car that seems possibly driving left here. We do have a bike.
I think it's
Like going around on the left.
Indonesia.
I would agree there. I
Yeah.
think
So we have a bike with a front plate, and you don't get front plates on bikes in the rest of Southeast Asia. And then we're driving on the left. You can see the bus passing to the left of that bike, and I think the bus has a yellow plate too, which is also a thing you get on commercial vehicles. I don't know about Java. I mean, Java could work. I don't know, to be honest. But Trickter hasn't even zoomed in, so I'm not sure he even knows where to go. He is going to go Java too.
Oh, but seems he's debating some of the Nusa. He switches over to West Nusa Tenggara. And it's Zumba, and it works out great for him. He even still somehow looks a little disappointed in himself that he wasn't on Zumba, but he wins.
Wow. What a great last-second switch from Trickter there. I don't know if he knew it was Indonesia the whole time and was just kind of thinking about where, or probably, but who
I
knows.
would assume so, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Again, Trickter, like we said, likes to take his time, even on those rounds where he has a decent idea. He wants to just look at everything, get a lay of the land, and make the best guess that he can. So we have Surabaya pavement here. I've mentioned it before, but this sort of diagonally tiled pavement that you see on their screens here is found a lot in the area around Surabaya, so much that it's earned the nickname Surabaya pavement.
Both right there, 11 points. Guys, we're on our third game. This is the tiebreaker. It is 1-1. We are on NMPZ. One singular still image is all they get in this banger of a matchup.
Yep. So we got the NMPZ we were hoping for. We'll see.
Trickter with a little IRL zoom there. Stands up, gets close into the monitor. He's thinking the US here.
I don't mind that. I mean, we have a big pickup truck kind of car, which looks very US-like. The sun is in the south. I mean, my other thought here would have been something like Argentina, but with the sun where it is, I think I prefer the US guess, but it's not an easy round.
No, it is not. V89 locking in quick, as we have seen from him throughout those quick guesses. Trickter in Wyoming actually shouldn't be too far apart here.
Makes sense. More empty and desolate it looks. Wyoming is never a bad guess.
Never a bad guess. It works out. Really, really good damage there from Trickter to V89. We move on to round 3. V89 already at a pretty serious deficit considering it's round 3.
Yeah, I like the Durban guess. South Africa with these yellow outer road lines and white center lines, and then it's very green. But the thing is, a lot of the coast can look like this, so where Trickter is also makes sense. It's just kind of hard to say who's right.
Trickter on it. That is huge damage on round 3. VD9 is already at 2k health.
Like we said, Trichter, one of the best NPC players in the world. He's had that reputation for a long time. And I think in the last couple of weeks, he's had a couple NPC guesses that he wasn't that proud of. I remember there was like a Turkey round where he was in... Where was he? Canada or something? I don't remember. But I think that, you know, he has some regrets, and he's really looking to make up for that. And he's playing super, super well so far in this NPC.
I remember the Turkey you're talking about. I believe he went Sweden or Norway.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah. We were casting that one a couple weeks back here. We do have, players are pretty far apart here, if I'm looking at this correctly. They're very far apart. This is probably going to be the match.
Yeah, Trichter's in the Yukon/northern British Columbia, and V89's in Minnesota. So, you know, unless it ends up being like Saskatchewan or something, I think the game ends right here, or whoever it is closer.
He moves to Alberta. Nope. British Columbia, Alberta border. And V89 is Ontario.
It's Canada. Oh my.
V89 wins the game on that. I think you caster cursed him right there.
I think I did.
Oh
I
no.
think I did.
Oh no.
Yep, that is exactly what happened, man. I was just singing his praises, and so unlucky. He's in the right country. And V89 just across the border in the US, but he had the vibe based off the vegetation. But I take full responsibility for that one.
It's your fault. No. What a game. Man. What a game, Jake. I mean, wow. Back and forth. Right there in the end, the Minnesota guess from V89. It is Ontario. Wins him the game on the multis. That is insane. We can take a look at so far what has gone down today off stream. We did see Ocean Man got a 2-0 over Kent. He takes 3 points. And everything else that went down, again, we had the walkover from Rix, Kratsu taking the free win, Lenley, Sadzu with a 2-0, and that insane match, V89 Trichter 2-1.
Yep. Nice from V89 getting his second 2-1, and also Ocean Man has been, I think, a pleasant surprise so far in this league. He's played really well, and you see him there in 10th place. Again, he's played a few more matches than some of the other players, but still a really, really great start for Ocean Man, and a bit of a tougher start for Kent.
Yeah. V89 being up there at 6th, that's impressive. I believe that's the highest he's been so far in the World League. So week 5 now, he's up there in 6th place. Very impressive stuff. So, you know, good stuff to come later. We're going to get to see Yannick versus Consis next up on the mainstream. Will be a really good time. Any quick thoughts on that match, Jake, before we head on to a short break?
I mean, can't wait. Consis, we've seen him. He's been one of the best players in the league so far. And then Yannick, again, has been an okay start, but I think he probably feels like he needs to pick it up a little bit. So he's going to be determined as ever, and it's going to be an awesome matchup.
Yeah, should be great, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, get a snack, take a restroom break, and we'll see you for Yannick versus Consis. Welcome back, everybody. Really quick break there. Hope you took some time to yourself, but we're back. More GeoGuessr. We know you want it. We want it, and we're ready to go straight into things. It's going to be Consis versus Yannick in this slot too. We're also going to see Flyme Orlando a little bit later. Going to get to see Orlando make a comeback, but Yannick Consis starting the day. Consis high up there on that leaderboard, even with not too many matches played. Yannick needing a bit of a comeback right now. Let's take a look at how these two players match up against each other. Yannick with that 41% win rate, definitely lower than you want to see, as we've talked about before. And a 44% precision. We've seen people with that precision do better, like people like Sadzu right there with him. So it's definitely doable. We'll see if he can make a little bit of a comeback here. Let's take a look at Consis, though. Talk to me, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, the precision's so high. 70% is one of the highest that we've seen. But we really see, again, not only the amazing win rate, but the average guess time, again, really long, kind of like Trickter's. A player who I don't consider to be as much of a moving player. I mean, Consis, to be fair, phenomenal moving player. But he really likes to take his time, not only in the moving rounds, but also in the other rounds. He really just likes to get a feel for where he is, rather than rushing his guess, which is so different from some of the other players we see. And that leads, I think, to that much, much higher accuracy.
Yeah, we can take a look at where these two players stand right now. Consis only 6 matches at 8th place is insane. Yannick with only 8 also, and 29th here. So Yannick really, really wanting a comeback here, really wanting to gain some more points.
Yeah, Consis 6 matches. I mean, 16 points out of a possible 18 just could not be much better for him so far. Yannick, again, kind of probably on the bubble right now in terms of that sort of regionals qualification. You have to be top 60% in your region to make it to that regionals tournament. So he definitely is feeling some pressure, feeling like he might be, on the edge there. So it's going to be a really tough match for Yannick to get anything out of, but, he's as determined as ever, and we'll see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, going up against the very first ever GeoGuessr World Cup champion, definitely a scary feat.
Yeah.
But we'll see how they play out. We're 30 seconds into our first round here.
Lietuva means... So we're in southern Latvia. Lietuva means Lithuania. So I assume that sign means Lithuanian border, 5 kilometers. But Aizkraukle is a fairly large town. I think both will probably know it. Oh, Wait, why is he in Lithuania? Okay, there he goes. So it should be... I would imagine that I wonder if Yannick has the town, actually. Because we're going to be right by the border, but we will be in Latvia.
I mean, two great guesses. 2 very good guesses there. Both right on it.
I think both were able to see that sign that said Lithuania on it and realized what it meant. And it led to, like you said, very, very good guesses.
Round 2 here. Players get off to the races quick. We have some signs here, possibly helpful.
Rebel. Yep.
Oh, yeah, we do see that town name there. Great catch there from Yannick. Consis has not seen it. Will he be able to get a good region guess, or will he see a sign? He sees the town name, actually, to follow, so both right there in the correct town.
I think Consis had the same sign, but he didn't see it the first time. But then he moved to the other sign, and it also said Durbell on it, so yeah, whatever works.
16 points. We move on to round 3.
Interesting here. Definitely more rural this time. There's a sign on Yannick's screen. I'm not sure if you can read it.
It just looked like some Spanish, which does make sense for the look of this here.
It definitely feels like the Andes, although doesn't mean it's going to be easy to narrow this down.
Yeah, it seems like it's a Peru. Oh, especially
Peru.
looking at that sign too, actually. You can see the black and white poles there. Yeah, definitely Peru. Peru is commonly known for having those black and white signposts, which basically are only there. You can see them in Malaysia.
Lima.
Oh, we see Lima on a sign there. That's big.
Lima region. He might even be on the right road, but I don't know if Yannick has that. He doesn't have the thing that says Lima, but he's not that far away either.
He's moved a little farther south of Lima, but it's again pretty close considering how big Peru is. Oh, he moves just toward Lima there, so that should work out well for him. But Consis right there on it.
Yep. Beauty from Consis. Found that information. I knew it was the Lima region. But in this case, the central hedge worked pretty well for Yannick.
Going around for Consus off to the races, Yannick to follow. They're going the same direction here, trying to go into this town that they can see. Maybe there's some signs. Do have a little bin there that Yannick was hoping possibly would have some information, but seems like no words are on it.
Bins in Bulgaria don't usually have words on them, at least not useful ones. I think in places like Turkey, you'll get really useful bins. But Bulgaria, it's a little bit rarer. He's got a couple maybe towns there, but they look very small. I'm not sure if Consus will be able to use that sign to any effect.
Yeah, doesn't seem too helpful, but maybe he just has a good region guess here. Maybe he's trying to line them up. We'll see. Seems like he's going around a bit, but pretty confident on the western idea. Yannick yet to open the map. We'll see where he goes. He has the same signs now too, but again, probably pretty small towns.
Also going west.
Yeah, they're pretty close to each other, pretty much on top of each other actually right now, so... Yeah, it just ends up being farther north, Yannick a little closer. That's going to be good to take some points off of Consus there and actually take a very slight little lead.
Yep.
We move on to round 5.
Just going to hope, again, all things considered, probably Yannick will be hoping for rounds that are less information heavy. I'm honestly kind of surprised that Yannick isn't sending his guesses faster, just given how good Consus is at moving and how experienced he is with it, and Yannick comparatively just less so. So again, I'm kind of surprised that Yannick has really been letting Consus move around in these rounds.
Yeah, it's a very, very fair point. I wonder if maybe he just hopes he can find better information than Consus will, and maybe that works out, but difficult round here, not much information at all to go off of. We've passed one car, and that's about it. Otherwise, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and this one, I'd imagine maybe they don't want to guess just because they're not that sure about where they are. Yannick going Cordoba, Argentina. We will see if Consus follows in Argentina. I do like the Argentina guess. These 3 seconds. He just about gets his pin down.
Just gets it in there, and they're pretty close to each other, but Consus, what an insane guess. It's the San Luis province. That's 2k damage to Yannick in round 5. Now Consus takes back the lead, and this time it's a big one.
Yeah, again, a great guess. Really no information at all there. Just kind of had to rely on the landscape, direction of the sun, and that was about all they had. This one, though, urban US, much more likely to have some interesting stuff. We'll see. Or Canada.
Oh,
Oops.
quick town guess.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
must have
Lloydminster.
seen the sign. Lloydminster on the sign. Yep, there it is. He sees it and he knows it. He doesn't. He's going Edmonton
He's close,
here.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, Lloydminster is a famous town because it's notably both in Saskatchewan and Alberta at the same time. Oh, he found it. But he is too late.
Oh, the last second. It's not enough. That's a big deal of damage down to Consus. Now Yannick takes the lead. This is a nice back and forth.
Yeah, it's really nicely done by Yannick. Finding the town, and he knew pretty much immediately where it was, and that's what got him the points there. I think if he had waited a little longer there, it would have given Consus a few more extra seconds, and as we saw, all Consus needed was maybe 1 more second, because he did find the town, but he clicked it just too late.
Round 7, the players moving quick, but Consus guessing quick. Yannick, will he follow?
This just goes for Ohio. I don't know if he saw, it might have been a plate or an area code or something. I don't know. But they're both going in the Ohio area here. West Virginia.
He goes West Virginia. Oh, and he ends up being a little closer there, actually. He looks relieved about that, to say the least. That's 64 health down. He holds his lead. Yannick needs a couple more rounds like that Lloydminster one where he sees a bit of information he knows and can guess quick and put Consus on the ropes. We'll see if he can get it again. Round 8 seems to be a New Zealand by the looks of things.
Sure is. Again, looks like a round where we might get some info. We'll see, though.
It seemed like Consus went by a sign there and he didn't look at it. He must have known it maybe wouldn't be town names.
We value our people, do not run them over. That is a... yeah?
Guys, lock that
Good
in
advice.
and never forget it.
Yeah, Yeah, I have not seen much. We have holy poles. These holy poles are found in the North Island and also in Southland, which is the southernmost region of the South Island. I would guess we're probably just somewhere in the North Island with this kind of landscape, but I'm often wrong about New Zealand, so we will see.
This is strange because it could actually be
it
could be where Constance is going. I was gonna say there's something about this that reminds me of that area. Yannick not recognizing the specific poles, going central south. Constance on it.
I think it's more that Yannick just didn't see the poles. I think maybe if he had seen a holy pole, he would have known. But Constance found the pole, so he knew if it was South Island, it had to be all the way down there. And he makes the knockout guess.
Makes the knockout guess. He takes it after an impressive back and forth, I must say. Like that was a close game when it really came down to it. Constance taking the window, seeing the regional polls, works out very well for him.
Is Yannick's camera frozen, or is he just like super zen right now?
I think they are both frozen actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
see, no, Yannick wasn't. He was just he
Yannick
was just
wasn't
like that for like 30 seconds.
Constance must be frozen. That must be a frozen camera, right? Like,
if that's not frozen, I'm impressed. But I think Constance is frozen. Yes.
Okay. We'll see if he comes back unfrozen, or no, he does. He's back. He exists. We go on to no moving, guys. We have 1 360 panorama. That's all our players have to look at here to make their guess now. No more moving around on the road. They still only have 1 minute to do so. They're both there. They see very important information here, giving them very specific region.
Yep. Kabupaten Donggala is what they see. It's quite a long regency. It goes up from the city of Palu kind of all the way along that sort of western coast where both of them are scanning. They're probably scanning for the town, the Kecamatan. The thing about scanning for towns in Indonesia is they're not usually written on the map, and you have to find them as POIs, which makes it a lot harder to find them. But they are both going to be along the correct stretch of coast here.
Talk to us about what a POI is, in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, so POI, if you zoom really far into the map, you see those little pins all over the place. Some of them are gray, some of them are orange, some of them are blue. You see them there. So normally when you're scanning for a specific town in Indonesia, it won't be written as a town on the map, and it will only be written in the names of POIs. So that's kind of often how you have to narrow Indonesia down once you have the general area from the Kabupaten, the Regency.
Not only helpful in Indonesia, can be helpful in some other, like African countries, common as well. Things like that. POIs can be very helpful. We do move on to round 2 here.
Yeah. North America here. I don't know if anything's written on the transformer. It looks like probably not, but I would guess probably towards the south in the US here, which is where Yannick is right now. But I'd say the vegetation just kind of looks generally a little more southern, more almost tropical-esque, and we also have that sort of one-story house, which looks a lot more southern to me as well. That house right there that Constance is looking at.
Yeah. Agreed here. Makes sense. I like it. Arkansas here from Yannick. Constance yet to open the map. He's opening it up. He's going Missouri there. Okay. They're pretty close to each other. I do like these two guesses. They do make sense.
Yep.
Bordering each other. 1.5 times damage. Who will be closer? It is Yannick. He's happy with that. Takes a couple points off Constance.
I wonder if he was happy or if he was a little frustrated. It was hard to tell, but he might have been actually regretting not taking more points there, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, definitely possible. Quick India zoom and lock here from Yannick by the looks of it. No lock yet, but he seems confident. We'll see where he stays. There's the lock. Constance, will he follow?
Just not sure. I mean, it's a tough round. We have fairly dry looking mountains. I mean, I definitely like the Rajasthan guess. Although Constance going a little further south in Maharashtra, it is. Yep.
Great guess from Constance there with 2 times damage. Really big hit to Yannick's health. Not what Yannick's looking for right now.
No, he needs to win this to extend it. He was so close to winning the moving game. So he definitely probably feels a little bit of regret about that. But he knows he's on the ropes now. Needs to make a good guess, and big country, big points. We are in Russia.
It's time. Let's see what these players can do. Yannick moving faster again. this really showed in their average guess times here. Consus really likes to take his time. You see him making a lot of last-second guesses sometimes, not even zooming into the map until the very end. But this time seems like he's debating a couple areas by looking closely, possibly a very specific road that Yannick is looking at right now too. So we'll see if he actually ends up going the same place here.
Could be. I mean, I don't know, is Bratsk that mountainous? You definitely get some mountains in that area. I think specifically where Yannick is right now is a little flatter, but it'll definitely be this area of Russia since we have those mountains and you just don't really get tall mountains like that in the west, but as for exactly where, I'm not totally sure. Ah, Yannick.
Oh,
he was there.
He was there. He does still take the round, but that could have been maybe even game if he was right on it. He does deal some decent damage, but Consus still holds the lead here as we go into round 5.
I just feel like the mountains you get in Irkutsk are just not quite that tall, and the ones that we saw there were just... Ooh, East Lothian. Oh my gosh, Scotland. That's oh no. East Lothian is east of Edinburgh. So that's a council area in Scotland. I mean, I think very few GeoGuessr players have learned Scottish council areas, but I learn weird things. But East Lothian is, yeah, and it's a subdivision a little bit, I think, southeast of Edinburgh in Scotland. So there's gonna be some... It's definitely an opportunity. He's moving north.
Jake, it makes me so happy when you get excited about these things. I love that you know them. It puts a smile on my face.
It's fun. I love stuff like this. Yeah.
It's great. Will the players know? It doesn't seem they do.
He's still north, though. Consus, I don't know if it'll be knockout damage, but it'll be big damage for Consus here.
Yeah, Consus is going to be closer based off that info. So it's going to be relatively decent points there, keeping Consus with a big lead. That's Yannick on 1,137 health. Not the position you want to be in here, especially after losing that first game. We're on round
Consus
6.
had known, if he'd known what East Lothian was, he would actually have won there, so he's still a little bit of a missed opportunity for both players, to be fair. We have a Bhutan here. We have that little yellow and white waystone there, kilometer marker. You see those all over the place in Bhutan, and then this general green mountainous landscape. It's very well. I don't know if Consus can win in Bhutan on 3.5 damage. Probably not, but we'll see. Especially not if he goes middle.
Yeah, pretty close guesses there. Not much. Yannick a little closer, though, so he stays alive, and we just move on to round 7.
Gets those multipliers up. The higher they are, the more random it gets, which is, at this point, what Yannick wants, given how low his health is. Urban Europe, Italy, I think, again, probably not what Yannick wants to see right now, because Consus can definitely win on this, but Yannick probably can't. I mean, maybe he can if Consus is really far away, but this kind of just looks generic. I want to say, like, Rome, if anything, but...
Yeah, it does look pretty generic.
Easy.
I like the peace signs being thrown up there. Get some peace signs in the chat.
Bologna for Yannick. I could see it. I mean, if anything, the architecture feels maybe a little less northern to me, but Italy's tough. Consus is really taking his time. Again, we see this a lot from him. He just doesn't zoom into the map. He just thinks about it. And then once he has an idea, he goes to the map and makes his guess at the last second.
Seems like he'll probably do that right here. Now he's zooming in. They're both pretty far north. Po Valley, I think. No, actually, Consus is a little getting up there in the mountains by the looks of it.
Okay. I'm probably wrong then.
Oh, good. It can be quite hard to region guess, especially when you're in cities like that. Not a lot of landscape clues, but Yannick is a little closer. It keeps him alive, and it brings us to round 8.
Very nicely played by both. And keeping himself alive, and he gets an Australia round. I mean, it's a big country. It's probably what he wants here. See if he can pull this off. I mean, red soil suggests Western Australia. Consus agrees with that. But Western Australia is still huge, so we could see a lot of points on offer. Second largest subdivision in the world.
Oh, the more you know. Oh, they're very close to each other here. We really shouldn't see much. I wonder if we're going to have a situation where they're both close and they're both right, or they're both close to each other, but not the location. Let's see. As the time runs out, they are both close to the location and each other.
Yep.
But Cons a little closer with that multi. That's a big hit still. It's really, now we're at a point where Yannick cannot lose a singular round. If he does, it's over. The multis are 5 times damage now. It's round 9. There are only 2 more possible rounds here left in the snow move. If Yannick wants to take it to NMBZ, he's got to do it here.
Might have a chance. I mean, again, it's not an easy round. I want to say it's Europe, but beyond that, this is really tricky.
Norway,
I do like Norway. I do like Norway. Very sort of northern feel with these short trees and the rocky sides of the road. And I guess if it's Norway, it would be probably pretty inland towards Sweden, so definitely reasonable, but Yannick has to be closer if he wants to survive.
Yeah, we'll see. They are pretty close to each other. I don't know if you saw him basically debate a quick little Alaska, but he's gonna stay over in Norway. Right there. Consis is just on it! Could that win him the game with 5 times that will?
It does?
That wins him the game. Consis.
Oh my gosh.
5 times damage just on top of it. Rural Norway. And Yannick with a great guess too.
Yannick had the right national park, and he lost.
That is unreal.
That is crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of a multipliers moment, but like, still, incredible guess from Consis. Like, just the consistency we see from him is amazing. He just, I don't know. You think it's gonna stop, but he just wins. He just keeps on winning, and it's amazing to see him do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, it's how he took the first ever GeoGuessr World Cup back in 2023 in a very exciting fashion, I will say. Seeing him with that trophy will forever go down in GeoGuessr history. Such an amazing moment to be there and watch. And now, still here, killing it in the World League. A great game against Yannick, but really it just came down to that consistency in just being slightly closer, dealing that little bit of damage. But now that is done, we're going to take a look at Flyme versus Orlando as well. They have started up their match. They're in their moving game. Love that we get 2 games a segment. Let's take a look here.
Flyme versus Orlando. This is going to be a good one. Orlando, I think does he have a... I thought he had an area code. I don't know if he knows those, but I think he had highway signs. Going to Nebraska, he's going to South Dakota.
Flyme. That's a good little comeback there. After it seems Orlando, we didn't see it, but Orlando took a pretty big hit down to Flyme's health in round 1, and now they're close to evened it up.
We saw Flyme versus Orlando. I believe it was the first match of the first ever GeoGuessr Regionals tournament, the Americas Regionals in February. First match was Flyme versus Orlando. Orlando took the match 2-1. Flyme took the moving game and then lost the next 2, but it was very tightly contested. But again, since then, if anything, I would say that Orlando has improved more. He's played a lot, and it's not to say that Flyme hasn't improved, but Orlando is so much stronger than he was 9 months ago that I think I would, if anything, I would probably give him the advantage here. That said, this is France, which Flyme is probably happy to see. So we'll see if that can make a difference for him.
Yeah, we'll see here. Well, that's a sign. That's a sign there for Orlando. Yeah, it's actually so interesting to think about, though, that America's Regional, Orlando and Moo, 2 players who basically went from that regional to just grind season, and it's both paid off so much for them. And we've been seeing it here in this World League. On this round, however, Flyme a little closer, dealing 742 damage. Flyme now has a lead, 500 points over Orlando as we go into our next round here, round 4.
The towns that Orlando saw in his sign, he didn't find any of them, but one of them did have the suffix AC, ac, which is much more common in that sort of southwestern area of France where the location ended up being. So kind of a little niche hint, but if you see a town name ending in ac in France, that's usually a good place to guess. Some
interesting coverage here, I will say. There's something about the lighting going on and the way it bounces off this sort of dirt and the sidewalk and everything. I like it for some reason.
Area code for Orlando.
Little Sao Paulo area code. That's going to be big. I mean, Orlando, home country advantage. Gets it in there. And as you mentioned just earlier in this stream, he has worked on his Brazil guessing in these past months.
Miami's pretty far away. This could be major damage.
This really could be.
Could even be game. We'll see.
Orlando on it. 2.5 times damage. That's 3,800 points of damage dealt to Flyme. Flyme in the red now. On his last leg. On his last breath.
Yeah, that's what you do in urban Brazil. You look for an area code, and that was the difference there. Orlando found one, Flyme went the other way and didn't find one, and that was it. They have RN7, which means National Route 7. They also have Provincial Route 60. So, let's see if either player is able to use that.
Yeah, see if they can line that up. That is a very classic Argentina pull right there. Good to know if you see those thick pulls and then those big concrete connectors between them.
I think Flyme has it. He's got the 7 and he's also got a Provincial Route 60, so I would imagine he's got this. But now Orlando has the same sign and he's found the 7 as well in San Martin, so I would imagine we're going to see virtually no damage done here unless Orlando moves.
Oh, no, it doesn't seem like he's gonna. Staying right there outside of Mendoza.
Yep, he has San Martin as well. There you go.
There it is, but Flyme. That's what he needs to stay in it. That's a 4,999. Only 84 points of damage, but could have been way worse for him considering he's only on 645 health. We go on to the next round. We go on to the next round. Let's see round 6.
Beautiful location, flooded.
Flooded world, anyone?
Yep. Gorgeous.
New Iceland, yes.
It's so pretty. I love the New Iceland coverage. It's something so visually appealing about it. I don't know if it's like the contrast of like the bright green grass with the like volcanic rocks, but there's something, I don't know, just really pleasant to look at about it.
Yeah, that starting location right there in the water there, it's also really pretty. Seeing the water move.
Ooh. Does he have something? Let's see.
There's a little sign there. Doesn't seem too helpful.
Yeah.
Really the yellow road signs in Iceland are what you want to find here, but none of them have found any.
Yeah, most other signs are not going to give you anything. So, we'll see. Orlando can still win here if his guess is better. And he does, I think.
Yeah, with the multis, I think he takes the game there. He doesn't! Flyme on 8 health! Flyme on 8 health! What in the world? Imagine the comeback. It's doable.
It's US.
It's doable. Can he find some signs? Flyme, move.
Western Kentucky. Oh, good luck. He's got the same, though. He's got the same. If he can read that, he can at least survive. If he goes in, if he happens to be closer, he can survive.
He's going eastern. Go west. Go west. Go west. Thank you. Flyme. Will he stay alive here? Though? He needs to be closer at all.
Oh my
Are
God.
they on top of it? They're both 56 kilometers away.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
4.
This is incredible. What are we seeing?
4.
We had the exact one between Castrol and Trictor, and now this. What is happening?
On Japan,
was
round
on
8.
And then he was farther away and still survived.
Where is he gonna guess? He's just gonna make a central guess by the looks of it. You want to commit here if you're Flyme, though. This is your only chance.
Well, he probably knows the region.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just clicking the middle of Kansai. They both have clues for Kansai region, but again, yeah, it's gonna be it.
Wow, that ends it. They're both right there in the correct region. But Orlando takes the game.
And that's just, we see the improvement from Orlando. Like I said, in that match between Orlando and Flyme in the Americas Regionals, Flyme took the moving game, but Orlando's improved so much, not only in no move and NPZ, but also in moving. He's just gotten so much stronger in every mode. I think we just saw that on display there. He played super, super well and just kind of outlasted him.
Yeah. We go on to no move now. Things reset. One singular 360 panorama. No moving up and down the road anymore. Let's see if Flyme can make a bit of a comeback and take us to NMPZ.
I want to say Greece here, maybe, with the wooden poles and the architecture. But
I do like that. I do like that quite a bit. Yep, we got Orlando going there. Flyme to follow. Flyme farther south, though.
A little bit. Opting to go a little closer to Athens here. Not an easy country to region guess, so hard to say where we'll be. But it's just round 1, so probably won't mean too much.
Yeah, not too many points. Nothing to write home about. 171, we go on to round 2. We'll see what we take a look at here on our next 360 panorama.
Australia, interesting road. I would guess maybe, yeah, that it probably is that road because we have this sort of, not tropical, but still different looking vegetation that you get in the north of Australia. So with this road angle, it makes perfect sense that we'd be on the main road in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, both there. We'll see if anybody gets really close here. Yeah, Orlando does. Almost on it, but Flyme not too far away. Still 514 points there. Pretty decent bit of health taken down. Orlando looking calm, composed, collected. That's Imperial Orlando, our first GeoGuessr player on an esports organization. Repping the jersey as always. We love it.
Yeah, and he's showing why he got signed to an esports organization. I mean, again, we've said it so many times, but it's amazing to see how much better Orlando has gotten.
Yeah. Flyme putting the pressure on here, though. Orlando to follow, and Flyme a little closer, farther south, but Orlando really got that coastal vibe.
I like the guess from Orlando on the little Manar Peninsula there. That's even if it didn't end up being right, I like it. I respect it.
We go to round 4 here.
Back in North America here. Big country, big points. Looks like the U.S.
Yeah, I feel like this has got to be in the south, right? Yep, Orlando thinking the
with
same,
these
going
pines,
Georgia.
I would agree.
Flyme right there, too, in Georgia as well, both in the same state. But he's taking his time here, letting the timer run out as he considers, but he locks it in. Wow!
That is a classic New Jersey moment.
Classic New Jersey, Southern New Jersey bait. Both players baited, both casters baited.
You get some wacky pine forests in New Jersey. I mean, I think those pine species there that we saw probably wasn't quite the same one that you see most commonly in the South. But you can get some crazy South-looking locations in those coastal areas in New Jersey, Delaware, etc. Interesting here. I do like Romania. I've seen these poles before with these weird, like, square-looking attachments on them. I think these are a Romania thing, but the two flat areas of Romania are not that close to each other. We have the players splitting. We have Orlando in the west and Flyme in the south.
They are not. Orlando with the lock. Flyme, lock. Flyme closer. 2,500 damage. Flyme now has a lead as we go into round 6.
Yeah, so tough to tell, like I mentioned before, those two parts of Romania, really, really similar looking dead flat landscapes. This is interesting because we can't see. We have a tarp above us here.
That's... I gotta love that. That just really spices things up.
I want to say Colombia? Yeah, because I think we might have had a yellow plate in the distance.
Yeah, I think Colombia makes the most sense with this, with what we're looking at, I guess. Architecture, language, of course.
Flyme's in Buenaventura. Are the people... What is the skin color? Because there's a really interesting meta. You do have a lot of sort of Afro-Colombian looking people here. The West Coast, because of like the slave trade, the people generally have a lot darker skin on like the western end of Colombia. So that's, I think, why both players are going so far west, and that's exactly the vibe that they got.
Yeah, they end up in the same city there. 84 points of damage down to Flyme.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting metas, I think, to use in a country like Colombia. so interesting how just the patterns of history can shape the modern world like that.
Totally. Round 7 here, we end up in a US round. We have some US bollards. Some of them can be specific, yet also somehow deceiving. But we'll see if this bollard is...
I don't know what this bollard is. This looks really weird to me.
That's the deceiving part.
Yeah.
Do you like... Some of them look really similar to others, and then you're like, wait, no, I've never seen this before in my entire life, actually. I have no idea where this is. But it seems like they're going to vibe guess this one. We have an Idaho from Orlando. Fly Me going in Nevada here, so neighboring states, but pretty far apart considering how big these states are.
I can see either. I mean, it isn't the typical Nevada bollard, but that doesn't mean it can't be Nevada. Again, I don't actually know what this bollard is, so we will see, but this could decide it, or would at least do major damage.
Yeah. Guesses are in. It's Wyoming. Orlando a little bit closer. That'll be some decent points considering the 4 times damage. 2,200 down to Fly Me. Could have been way closer if he was in Wyoming, though. We move on to round 8.
Orlando taking the lead there. South Goa. It says South Goa on the bin. Fly Me needs to see that.
Fly Me needs to see it. Look at the bin. Fly Me, look at the bin.
Yeah,
he doesn't see the bin. This is going to win Orlando the game and the overall matchup. The bin's right there, Fly Me. He doesn't see it. Orlando takes the no-move game and the entire matchup 2-0 versus Fly Me.
Again, we just see the improvement from Orlando. He won his match 2-1, but it was very, very closely contested at the regionals. And in this one, he takes a pretty convincing 2-0 victory against Fly Me. We just see how much better Orlando has gotten from his display in that match. Just amazing guesses, and again, moving, he was playing really well, using the info really well, no moving, making amazing region guesses, and spotting that cheeky Goa clue in the last round to take the match.
Yeah, very, very impressive. It's been a good little slot here. Let's take a look at the standings from what went down. We saw the Consis versus Yannick 2-0, and then we got to see that Orlando Fly Me 2-0 as well. However, off stream, Pan got a 2-1 against Mata, Kent got a 2-1 against Moo, and Lenley with a 2-1 against Kratsu. Great stuff. And important to note again, those Debray matches, Debray has pneumonia, so canceled, resting up. They will get played at a later date when he is feeling better. Cool stuff. Anything you want to note there now that we look at these overall standings, Jake?
Kent beating Moo is major. I did not expect that at all. I mean, Kent has only 5 points through 8 matches even after that. And Moo, of course, one of the top players in the table. So that definitely is a bit of a shakeup. And I think Pan also getting the win against Mata is also big. Pan has had a little bit of a tough start to the league. He's shown a lot of prowess in NM and NMPZ, but he's had a couple tough results. So that's a big win for him as well.
Yeah. Also noting there on those overall standings, you saw Orlando has now jumped up to 9th place, which is great position for him to be in. But guys, we're gonna go to a little break, and when we come back, we're gonna see Kratsu versus Pan. Should be very exciting. Do stay tuned. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a nice little short break. We're back to give you our final little slot of games. Gonna be a good time, guys. I'm Bloom, or Project Bloom, joined by Jake. Let's take a look at what we are looking at. We're gonna see Kratzu versus Pan first. Should be a good matchup. And our second matchup of the slot will be Harrier Consis. And we'll be getting a winner's interview from Harrier Consis, which should be a good time. Get a little chance to chat with one of those two players will be fun. But Kratzu, Pan first. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Lenley just beat Kratzu, so he's coming off of a loss. Not exactly the position he wants to be in, but should be a good match. He's one of the best moving players in this league, and he gets to start with moving. So let's see if that goes well for him. He's up against Pan. Should be a fun match. Let's see these two players' standings. Let's see their stats. Let's see how they're doing. Kratzu, 48% win rate. Not exactly a position you want to be in. Again, we mentioned somewhere being in that 60% is where you want to be if you want a good chance at making sure you're in that top 12. 48.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can win a game here. We'll see.
Yep. See the average guess time a little bit lower from Pan. The win rate also a little bit lower. Pan has definitely had a tough start, but he's coming off of a victory. Kratzo coming off a loss, so we'll see if that ends up making a difference. But it's also worth noting Kratzo did get that 2-0 automatic victory against Rix earlier, so he still had an okay day so far. Precision pretty similar, honestly, but honestly, it's interesting to see the lower average guess time combined with the higher precision from Pan. That's kind of impressive, but at the same time, the overall win rate is still higher for Kratzo, who has 14 points through 10 matches, whereas Pan just has 10 through the same amount of matches. Both players still probably a little bit below where they want to be right now, so both are going to consider this match very, very important.
Yeah, this is a really important one. I love that they're both on the same exact amount of matches. We don't usually get that. So for them to be both on those 10 matches, coming into this, both really needing more points. This game is very important.
So starting with moving, neither player's moved. There they go. Can't see Pan right now. But we have Stoby Pulls, which... Cooper Pedy. So Cooper Pedy is a notable, I think it's an opal mining town in, yeah, opal there, yep. It's famous for its opal mining in the center of South Australia.
And they know it.
Knowing the town. So, it's never going to be much. But yeah, Kratzo, definitely the stronger of the two when it comes to moving. So definitely feels like he has to get off on the right foot here. This Pan is really, really tough to beat. No movement NPZ. And again, both players really feel like they need to get as many points as they can here. So these matches are very, very important.
We have a quick little plonk down here from Pan. Not a commit yet, but he seems relatively confident. He's looking by the coast here. He's in Sumatra up in the north.
North Sumatra. I think he saw the poles and maybe thought, yeah, you have these asymmetric yet symmetric poles. I mean, the poles where the bar on each side of the pole top is the same length, but you have two insulators on one side and one on the other. Those are pretty much exclusive to North Sumatra, so that's why Pan is there. Kratzo probably will pick up on that as well. He will indeed.
They're both going to be North Sumatra there. Shouldn't see too many points. I think Kratzu a little farther south. Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
It actually, yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't know if that's new coverage. I know that Ache has had a little bit of extra coverage recently, but I think not a lot of research has been done on Ache just because it's not been covered for so long, because I think there used to be coverage there, but then Ache has Sharia law, notably, and it's like very sort of fundamentalist Muslim, and I think it's much more strict, and there were issues with that with Google, and I think they ended up having to remove the coverage. Anyway, they're starting to cover it a little bit more now, but I think most players are a little less familiar with how Ache looks just because of that.
Makes a lot of sense. The more you know.
Grand Hotel Lapland is what Kratzo sees. So Lapland is just the general northern sort of Scandinavian peninsula region. And looks like both players have the vibe here. Makes sense. Northern looking Sweden with mountains. You're going to go up in this area.
Pan with the last second guess, letting the timer run out, but Kratzu's just on it.
I don't know if he saw the town name or just vibe guessed it, but he may actually have seen it. Very nicely done by Kratzo. Again, showing his moving prowess there.
Going around 4 here. Kratsu needed that round win there, as Pan hadn't taken damage.
The Taiwan here. I haven't seen a lot of Taiwan. Oftentimes what you do in Taiwan is you look for an area code. Pan had a 08, which I think is pretty far south, and he is going Kaohsiung. I do like the guess. Kratso has a 08 as well, I think. I don't know if he saw it. Looks like he did, because he's also going south. And it's Pingtung. Beautiful from Kratso.
Very beautiful from Kratso. Great guess, but Pan not too far away. Just a little west there. Gonna move on to round 4 here. Not too much of a point differential between our two players here. It's like a US.
Here does look like the US. He sees an area code. He knows those. It's amazing. Kratso, he knows a lot of information. Although, Pan, I think Pan has a plate. I'm not sure if he has the area code or if he just saw a Pennsylvania plate. But either way, worked out really well for him.
Or he vibe guessed it.
Yep, maybe.
Could be. Really good guess, though. Regardless, from both players. We go into round 6 here.
Again, area code knowledge can make the difference. We saw that in the Blinky versus Mata match last week. But learning US area codes is one of the hardest things to do. They have literally no organization to them whatsoever. And
Completely random.
I have never done it, and I have a lot of respect for the people who have the patience to actually do that.
And it's really not many. I think it's Kratsu, Debre, Blinky. I don't even know if I can think of others.
There are definitely more nowadays. A lot more than there used to be. It used to be something that nobody ever wanted to go anywhere near. But Moo, for example, has definitely done it. There are quite a few others as well. It's, again, still something I can't memorize numbers. Every time I try to memorize a number, it goes in one ear and out the other. I can never keep it in my head. So
Interesting.
so I have a ton of trouble with that. So if I tried to learn it, I would just forget them immediately. Anyway, Kratso's on Flinders Island. He's thinking about King Island. Pan is just mainland Taz. I mean, Pan has a sign. I think is it Ceylon Ceston? Or I don't know what it says, but Kratso's sticking with Flinders Island here.
Oh, wow. With no signs. He ends up going the island, and Pan ends up being right on it. That's gonna win him the moving game against Kratsu.
So I wonder what Kratso thought that he saw there, because that's such a specific and risky guess, especially in a moving game. He looks really confused, so he thinks he must have just thought that he saw something that indicated that island, but he was wrong. And that's tough, because that's, again, Kratso, definitely his strongest mode, at least against Pan, is going to be moving. So now he's got quite a mountain to climb.
Yeah, he definitely does not look very happy with himself. I do wonder, I'd be so interested to hear from him about what he was thinking there, what he saw that made him, because I don't really think he did a lot of moving around. He didn't read any signs.
No. Yeah, Pan reached a sign, but Kratso didn't. He's just kind of mumbling to himself. He must have thought that he saw something. It didn't work out. Shaking his head. He's not out of this, but again, I think he probably expected to win the moving game, so...
That's really the one he needed there. I would consider that an upset for him.
Absolutely.
Well, we will go on to no move, and we'll see
Still
how
win
they
this.
fare.
He has to stay composed.
It is doable.
It's big for Pan, though. I mean, I don't think he's won a ton of moving games so far. It's definitely his weakest mode, so that's I think really good for his confidence.
Definitely should be good for the confidence. I think this could be a good win for him here, for sure. We're dealing with a little tech issue, and then we'll get us into this game, which should be good. Maybe this is a good little reset for Kratsu, you know? Maybe he needs a little moment to collect himself. Maybe it's a little blessing in disguise to have a little break here in between, and maybe he can regain in the no move. We'll see.
Yep. All right, here we go. See if you can bounce back. Looks like Sweden here with the northern vegetation and the white car with the antenna. So with a pretty similar guess to where he went in that urban round in the moving game. Different vibe.
Wow, very different guesses. And Pan just ends up being really close. 1,200 damage on a round 1 is pretty crazy. That's big damage.
Ratso might be a little shaken. He's got to compose himself. Get back in the zone here.
You know, we hoped that break maybe helped him regain, reset. We'll see.
Looks like New Zealand here. Both players going South Island. Makes sense at these mountains, although I certainly wouldn't rule out the North Island either. Maybe the fence, if anything, looks more North Island, and Ratso is going to switch.
Yeah, we'll see. Pan there in the north. Ratso seems to be really considering in the map. Not super focused. They're now both north. They've moved it up. They're both locked, relatively close to each other. 1.5 times damage, should not see too many points. But Pan, man, Pan is making very impressive guesses to start off this no-moving game. We'll see if he can keep it up here.
Again, this is his zone. This is where he's most comfortable. No move in NPZ, these are his modes. So after winning a moving game, I think he feels really confident about where they stand right now.
Quick little plonk down from Ratso in southern Turkey. Pan to follow right in the similar area. Ratso did actually just move farther west there, right as I was saying that though. But they're both southern. I like the vibe. It makes sense. It's quite dry in southern Turkey, especially in that area over near the Syria border.
Yeah, I wonder if they can see houses. I mean, a lot of times in that area of Turkey, you'll have a lot of flat roofs on the houses, which is a good giveaway for that area. I wonder if that's what's making them go southeast, or if it's more of just a landscape guess. Again, Pan is just on everything.
This might turn into a no-move masterclass from Pan here if it continues on like this. We'll see what he can do. Can Ratso make a bit of a comeback? Pan with the flawless. Ratso at almost half health, and we're only on round 4.
Looks like we are back in the US here.
Now this one is Georgia.
Yeah, unless it's New Jersey somehow.
Unless it's New Jersey again. We will see. Ratso in Georgia, but moves up to South Carolina or North Carolina by the looks of it, from what we can see there. Yep, North Carolina, guess quickly. Pan in Georgia.
Georgia always a decent hedge for the whole South if you're not sure where it is. A lot of the South can look super similar, but this could be game.
Pan, it is Georgia. Ratso moved off of Georgia. He takes 1,700. Ratso not happy with how this no-move game is going. Pan flawlessing.
Ratso,
yeah,
not looking too happy right now. Has not taken a point off of him in no move, although I wonder, could he ever get info here in the Philippines?
This is what would do it for him if he happens to get a sign that he knows, see a little bit of the moving knowledge coming into no move if he can find anything. Doesn't seem like he's found anything that he likes that's really helping him out, so we'll see.
I don't see anything either. Per municipal ordinance. No, I don't think any of that is helpful.
Pan possibly could do something big here, end it out, or Ratso seeming to do a pretty just central Panay guess. Pan a little farther north, but if they stay where they... Oh, he moves to Panay, actually, so they're right there on top of each other.
The immortal hedge.
The immortal hedge.
There it is.
And it's right. They're right there, next to each other. 54 points, down to Ratso's health. Pan holds flawless.
Just amazing performance so far from Pan. He's been so close every round. Has not given Ratso any kind of opportunity. This is just going to be Sri Lanka. We have mountains. It's probably Kandy, I would imagine.
Makes
How
sense.
sort of large of a city it feels like to me, but
Yeah, pretty big city, the mountains, lots of pedestrians, cars, buildings, probably in one of the big cities. Candy guess here from Pan. Kratzu just south of Candy. Is he going to move into it? Yes, he is. Center of the city there.
I think this makes sense. It might actually say Candy on that sign that Pan has. Wasn't quite able to read it, but I don't think this is going to make any difference at all.
Should be a go next. Kratzu will break the flawless at the very least. It's 18 points. Kratzu, this is what you need. The multis have racked up. You're not out of this yet. 4 times damage. Round 7.
I don't think he wants to see more Sri Lanka, though. With 4x damage, he can lose on Sri Lanka, but he can't win.
Yes, this is true.
Not what he wants. Although it's small enough that he's probably safe. I mean, this is fairly northern looking with sort of just the flatness, so I think he'll probably be okay either way.
Yeah, I think so. He's kind of going just central north-ish, slightly. I didn't see exactly where Pan happened to zoom in, but don't think we should see too much here.
Nope. All it's going to do is up the multipliers. The concern for Kratzu is that the game's going to end. Only got 3 rounds left.
Yeah, Pan is still closer. It's not going to take Kratzu out of this. Yeah, but the multis are racking up. It's time for Kratzu to make a comeback if he's going to get one, if he's going to take us to NMPZ. Round 8, 4.5 times damage. A little sign with a little bit of language tells us it's Spain. Kratzu's got a region guess. He thinks it's Galicia. He thinks it's north. Where will Pan follow?
Interesting. I mean, we have the signs as Vende, that means for sale, but it means for sale in, I think, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. So, definitely, I mean, the architecture looks good for Spain. Galicia is a risky guess, but I don't know what it is that's giving him that vibe, but, you know, certainly could be right.
Yeah, we'll see. Pan is much more central north, and Kratzu's pretty committed here over towards Galicia.
It's a risk for sure, but at this point he probably just feels like he needs to take risks. Moving
He
more
moves,
east.
yeah.
We'll see.
Pan is just
Insane
on it with 4.5 times damage. Pan takes the no moving game, winning him the entire overall matchup. That's 3 points added to Pan's world ranking.
Wow. Amazing performance from Pan. I mean, the moving he played solidly enough and he was able to take it, but the no move was incredibly impressive. His guesses were so consistent. One of the best performances we've seen, I dare say, so far in this league. It's been, yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of great performances, but that was something else from Pan. And a big 2-0 victory for him.
Yeah, very big victory there. Very impressive. No move masterclass. A little bit right there from Pan. We love to see it. A great second to last match of the day. Hopefully Kratzu can have a little bit of a comeback. We see how important mental is, and I think we could see that getting the Kratzu a little bit there at the end, just feeling down. Makes it really hard to stay in a game that's so mental like GeoGuessr. There's no mechanics. It's all up here. But guys, we do get another match. We get our final match of the day. It's going to be Consis versus Harrier. Should be very exciting. I expect a bit of a nail biter here. Let's take a look at these two players. So first off, Harrier with that 50% win rate. Again, a little lower than you want to see, but I think he's been playing well today. I believe he won his game earlier today. That's definitely what he wants. So not in too bad of a position. Pretty good precision. Let's see how it fares with Consis.
I mean, yeah, you see the amazing precision and win rate from Consis. We saw that before. Also, the slightly longer average guess time. Again, we were talking about how Consis likes to take his time. But it is really worth noting, Harrier has been playing really well recently. He started off the league quite badly. I think his first few matches, he got pretty much nothing from them. And now he's already up to a 50% win rate. So he's on a win streak right now. Harrier's on fire, and I certainly wouldn't want to be facing him right now. Yeah. I think this should be a fun one.
I do think this will be a fun one, and we will interview the winner of this one at the end, which is great. We all love our little interviews at the end there. But we can take a look at our standings. Harrier 23rd in 8 matches. Consis in only 7 matches is 7th place. Pretty unreal. But again, as you just mentioned, Harrier on a bit of a tear right now. He's making a comeback, not the start he wanted. So now it's his time to really make his way back up. But Consis, formidable foe, our first ever GeoGuessr World Cup winner back in 2023. Let's see these players go head to head. I think it's going to be a good time.
Especially given the start that Harrier had, it's really impressive. He's already back to 12 points in 8 matches. Harrier, a player who has improved massively. Wait, is this the UK? Oh yeah, I guess we're driving left. Are we? Wow, I guess the UK was not my first vibe here, but I guess we're driving left. Fair enough.
Good for Harrier.
It is good for Harrier.
Home court advantage.
Wow, really similar guesses. Yeah, that's a great guess. Wow, Harrier knows it's England for sure.
Very great guess from Harrier. A good start to the matchup.
But yeah, Harrier's improved massively. One of the players who's probably grinded the most since we sort of last saw him. So he's improved at moving and everything else. Again, Consis still the more experienced moving player, but Harrier's getting better at that. And I think even the moving game here will probably be pretty tightly contested.
Round 2 here. They're off to the races. Both on the same road right now. They've made their way over. Harrier opting to look at this sign while Consis goes right past it.
Consis may have seen something. Consis has a taxi. I think they both found.
They both, yep.
The taxi with Zacatecas on it.
He sees Consis's camera frozen right now, or is he just like that?
He might just be incredibly locked in, but
okay, no, that's gotta be frozen.
He looks pretty frozen, yeah.
It's hard to tell with him sometimes because he's so composed. Probably our most composed GeoGuessr player.
He's up there for sure. The Ceará lamps, we have sort of lollipop-looking palm trees, as well as the sort of decorative street lamps. I think are both decent clues for the state of Ceará in northeastern Brazil, but I think neither of them are 100%, so hard to be sure. Fortaleza, yep, there you go. That is the capital of Ceará, so
yeah, there it is.
Both players have the same sign. See if they can get the town.
Oh, Consis sees some more towns here. Could be helpful if you can find them.
I might be able to triangulate, but not a lot of time to do it.
Only 8 seconds left on the clock. Both players close to each other. Consis with more information. Can he find anything? Doesn't seem like he is. Oh, he does find enough to get him closer there. Still a frozen cam, though. That's part of what confused me a bit, because I was like, oh, he looks pretty just calm. Doesn't look like he's scanning.
Permanent mannequin challenge from Consis.
Yeah, imagine. It's not a frozen cam. He's just doing that.
Just to assert dominance.
That would be, wow. That would be insane.
Not moving a muscle.
Oh, both players in the exact same town. They see it on the sign.
Oh, yeah, they must have seen Ho on one of the signs, yeah. All right. Again, Harrier's showing he's gotten a lot better at moving recently. He knows more place names. He knows more area codes. He just knows more moving type clues. And definitely keeping pace here so far.
We move on to round 5. Consis, a little lead here.
Or Acadia? Is that the Acadian flag on the street signs? That's interesting. Acadia is like the sort of northernmost part of New Brunswick / like also parts of Quebec. You'll see Acadian flags. I'm not actually sure, but let's see. That is the Acadian flag.
Okay.
It is just the French street signs are just French. Okay, it is just going to be Quebec.
And he has a road number. Harrier has a road here, 138.
I would like further east because I think Acadia is just more east towards New Brunswick, but I could be wrong. Oh, it's there.
Consis right there too. They both have the road number. Consis
I don't know, though.
much farther
It's
east.
quite a bit farther east. You might be right.
He is. What a guess from Consis there with 3 times damage. That's big points. That brings Harrier down to only 2,000 health as we go into round 6.
Really well done by Consis. I don't think he had the town name, but he kind of just lining up the road, maybe saw the coast to the south, and did a really nice job with that. We have a 035 area code, which I think is KwaZulu-Natal, which is this province that Harrier is currently in. It also says KwaZulu hardware, so should be there. As for what specific town, though, that's a little harder to say. Harrier's locked it in.
Yeah, Harrier with a quick lock. Consis just looking around, seeing what he can find in his last seconds. He's collected, he's calm, collected, he's ready to go. He doesn't let the pressure get to him at any moment. It is just between them, but Harrier a little closer.
Let's guess from Harrier. Doesn't take much off of him, but again, 4 rounds left to go. There's plenty of time for this to turn around. Harrier just needs a round that's a little more in his favor.
Round 7 now, 4 times damage. Harrier could make a comeback here, but he needs a really good guess, and he needs to throw Consis off guard if he can. Would appear to be we're possibly, what would you say, Mexico on this one?
Mexico is what I would say here. But again, really large country, really tough to region guess a lot of the time. I'm not getting too much of a specific vibe out of this round, so this could definitely shake things up.
There's really been no information so far. Harrier's just opting to line up a road and make a region guess, but Consis has just found a sign. Is it Santo Domingo there? I don't think there's much information there that would be too important here. A state would be nice to know. San Luis Potosi here from Consis in the western part makes sense because it's drier. Harrier right there with him.
Oh, great guess from both.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. That is impressive. I don't think either of them had info. I mean, Consis had a couple town names, I think, but they were not large, and he didn't find them. He just region guessed it.
Very impressive region guess.
South Korea, not what Harrier wants to see right now. He needs bigger countries.
Definitely needs some big countries.
Consis trying to move, but he can't because the coverage in South Korea is so incredibly broken that you can't ever move where you want to move.
Oh, it's so slow. Yeah, they're just gonna no move guess this most likely. There's really not much else to go on. Harrier with the Busan. That's a pretty far south commit there. I mean, there's some water there. You do see a port, so it does make sense. Consis possibly will follow. No, he's going farther north near Daegu. Harrier as well.
Yeah, I don't know if they have an area code or anything. Doesn't just mean South Coast.
Okay. Ends up being South Coast. Harrier moves back down to Busan. Ends up working out well for him. He takes a round win. Not a lot of damage down to Consis, but he stays alive. And we go into round 9 now with a 5 times multiplier. This is a position where he could make a comeback.
It's the area code, though. Acre area code. Sena Madureira is the town. Harrier has the code, but I don't think he has the town name, and Consis does have the town name, which is right there, which I don't know why he isn't clicking it. It's right there. Just to the east of his... What? Wait. It says Sena Madureira on that yellow sign. I'm not sure if he doesn't see that, or... There he goes. Yeah, he just didn't see it.
Now he's seen it. Harrier doesn't have that same sign, which is so helpful, but he... Oh,
he's
right there. He's in the town.
But he's thinking about switching, because I don't think he actually knows for sure. Oh, he switched.
Oh, he does. He switches last second.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That last second switch is going to win Consis the moving game.
Wow. Yep. Harrier didn't have the town name. That was just kind of his initial click, but he ended up taking the risk going a little more west. Didn't work out for him, but we saw just the amazing consistency from Consis in that game, in the moving. I mean, I don't think he even went below 5,000 health, but he's just, not only is he incredible in the other modes, he's really, really good at moving, and I think he's a little bit underrated in moving. He knows so much, he's so consistent, he's just so hard to beat in any mode.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a bit of a cam issue there. I don't know what that was.
What
That's what you
the
see in
heck was that?
nightmares.
Yeah.
But there's Consus. There's the Consus we know and love, instead of whatever demon
Whatever
was there
that
before.
was.
But he's back, and we're going on to no moving. The players get one 360 panorama. No moving up and down the road anymore. Harrier lost the moving game. If he wants to stay alive, he's got to win it here and take us to NMPZ, or Consus will win this no-move game, gain 3 points toward his world ranking. Let's see. They're off.
Yeah, so I like UAE here. Definitely makes sense. We have mountains here. The car isn't the Oman car, so they will know it's not Oman, but with these date palms and the tall mountains, they should be somewhere in the eastern UAE. And both players will know that.
They're both right in that same pocket.
Southern guess, especially from Harrier. I don't know what it is that's making him think that in particular. But I could see it.
Consus locks quick. Harrier debating moving up, but he's staying right there, so shouldn't see too many points. Just around one here. And they're right there next to each other. But Consus,
Wow.
right on it.
What do you even do against this guy?
It's
locked
insane. It's impossible. Who's gonna beat him?
And the level of gameplay we've seen from like Consus, Blinky, Radu, Finbar, I mean, it really feels like it's just a level above. It's amazing what they're able to do.
Yeah, it's honestly wonderful to watch, especially considering how much things have leveled up just since our very first World Cup.
Yep. It really is amazing how far the game has progressed even since then. I like the Nakuru guess. We have a little cord on the car, which is found similar or commonly in the area around Nakuru. Bit north.
Bit north, Consus a bit closer. We go next.
Nothing too significant so far. We're just maybe hoping for a country that he's good at. We have another Kenya round with a cord again.
Back in Kenya. Consus unfrozen almost looks like he did when he was frozen, but now you just see his eyes move.
We're just going to the same area.
There's some movement. Yeah, similar guess from Harrier once again.
Yeah, he's like one road over, but ooh, he's thinking. See, I was wondering about this because the road from Nairobi to Mombasa also has a little cord on the car, although I don't know, is the landscape too dry to be there? Maybe, maybe not. Hard to say. Looks like he's going to stick in Baringo County, I think is where he is. We will see. That's the right idea.
Consus possibly confident on a road here. Yeah, he's locking it in. He had something lined up, but Harrier has something that sort of lines up too, actually, so we'll see if one of them has it right, or it's just somewhere completely different. Consus.
Consus on the road. Wow.
On the correct road. What do you do against that? I mean, what do you do? It's just... He's on the right road. He's on the right road in rural Kenya.
Random little white road in rural Kenya. I mean, you just have to applaud. That's all you can really do.
Pretty much.
Southern Chile here.
Yeah. Southern
Fall
Chile.
coverage. A lot of sort of red and orange foliage here, which you get a lot around Koihake, which is close to where both of the players are. Wonder if it's line-upable. I mean, we have a lake to the west, so it might be doable. But there are a lot of small roads, so we'll see.
Harry's got to lock in, putting the pressure on Consus. Consus gone, taking his time. He knows he's got still 4, 3, 2 seconds left. Consus a little closer. That consistency, it's just too hard to beat. Yep. We saw it when he played earlier. It's just Consus, no matter what, will just be that slight bit closer. That will continue to deal that chip damage. The multis rack up. And when he keeps that consistency, the multis rack up, and then he just takes the game. We'll see if he does it again here against Harrier. Harrier definitely wants to come back here round 5.
You just don't see him make major mistakes. By the way, Kiambu County, Harrier sees that. Harrier knows Kiambu County. Does Consus? Probably yes. Because again, Consus, better moving player than you would expect. Knows his stuff. Can Harrier break the flawless?
We'll see right here. Nope.
Nope.
Kansas just still closer. Over and over again. We move on to round 6. Harrier can make a comeback here. It's doable. The multis are rising. You need one slip up from Kansas. But will Kansas ever make one?
He hardly ever does. We will see. Rural Europe here. Definitely not easy. Harrier going Netherlands. I don't mind it. There's some signs in the distance, but they're very hard to see.
He locks it in. He's been locking in things pretty quickly here against Kansas in the no move, possibly trying to put on some pressure.
I was wondering if it could be like Baltic or something, but I don't know. Netherlands could work too with the lack of telephone poles. Yeah, they're both going Netherlands.
Both go northern Netherlands. And Kansas still a little closer. That is unbelievable. And you can even see, if you were looking at the cam there actually seemed to be a little bit of confusion from Kansas, which is not something you ever see, and yet he still pulls off a better guess.
Kansas, of course, from the Netherlands, but even that round for him was not easy. That looks like a Kanto plate to me. A silver plate with sort of almost handwritten looking writing on that electricity pole, which points towards the Kanto region, which is the area around Tokyo. Kansas is there. I would guess that Harrier will follow suit, but we will see. I don't know how good he is at Japan. It looks like he's got the same idea here. Yep.
Yeah, both right there. Shouldn't see too many points. 4 times damage. Japan is bigger than you'd think, so maybe a bit of points here, but really shouldn't be too much. We're just going to move on to our round 8, where things are going to get real serious.
And
Harrier
breaks it. Nicely done. Great guess from Harrier.
Yeah, that's a great guess. That's 1,000 down. It gets a little bit closer. Round 8. We are on India by the looks of it.
Yep.
So this is big country, big points. Are those regional polls? Will one of them know it? Harrier, farther south in Andhra Pradesh. Kansas has not opened the map, which is a classic for him. You never know what he's considering until he just makes that last second really accurate guess.
I don't see anything distinctive about these polls, but I'm not an India expert. There are a lot of specific metas that I don't know. Often Andhra Pradesh will have sort of ladder polls, types of polls you'll see in Brazil, for example, which we don't see here, but that, of course, doesn't mean it can't be Andhra Pradesh. And that is also where Kansas is.
Yeah, Kansas there too. They're slightly far apart from each other, though.
Yep. It's a pretty big state.
Pretty much opposite sides of the state, so this actually could be pretty big points depending on where it is. It's south. Kansas a wee bit closer there. They are both in the right state, but that multi, how big it is. Hair is now an 1,800 health.
On the ropes for sure, but not out of it.
Not out of it at all. We're on round 9. There's only this and possibly one more with that 10 round limit. You gotta do it in 10. Whoever has the most health at the end will win. This is one of Harrier's last final chances here. He's going North Spain. I do like the guess, but it seems Kansas right there in Spain too, also in the north, just farther east. We'll see.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think the guardrail maybe has some yellow reflectors. We have a sign in the distance that has red all around the edges, both very good clues for Spain. So, it does make sense. I think this Harrier can't win or take the lead here, but he can survive, and if he survives, he can hope for something a little more favorable in round 10.
We'll see. They are pretty close to each other now. Kansas just moved. Now they're basically right next to each other, so this should take us right to round 10. We'll see. Should just be a couple points. Harrier is a little closer. He's got to do it in the next round. Round 10 is it. Round 10 is everything. Will we get NMPZ? Will Kansas take it 2-0?
It has to be now for Harrier. He's got to hope for a decent round here.
It's all based on this.
It's winnable.
Argentina,
It's Argentina.
by the looks of it. Definitely could do it. Consis with the first Blanc this time. Harrier to follow far north, actually, which I do like. There's some kind of cloudier coverage like this up there. Consis relatively north too, so
Santiago
even if
del
Harrier's
Estero
closer...
Work. Yeah, I like both guesses. I mean, they're both entirely possible. I do like the general vibe, northern Argentina, sort of flat green landscape. But it's tough.
Definitely tough.
Harrier's going to have to make a heck of a guess, but he can do it. I still think it's possible for him to win this.
Yeah, with 5.5 times damage, but they are pretty close to each other still, so this really could come down to the wire here, but if one of them's right on it, could change everything. We'll see. With only 3 seconds left, the timer runs out. Neither made a guess before it. The whole minute will decide it. Consis wins the game.
Amazing. Just the consistency from Consis is incredible. Again, Harrier is such a good player, but he was just outplayed. And Consis, it's amazing to see what he does. But yeah, again, every time we see him play, he just pulls off some amazing guesses. And it's like, I don't even know what Harrier's supposed to do there. It's like every Consis guess was so close. It's like, there's only so much you can do. But amazing stuff.
Really hard to beat that consistency. That's one of those things that you need to do well in GeoGuessr. You can be an amazing player, but having that round after round consistency is what really separates these players from that top to the bottom, and we're seeing it on the world ranking. But Harrier played well. He played well. It was just Consis getting a wee bit closer each time. Let's take a look at the schedule for today. This is everything that went down today, and we can see the scores from what we missed. Kent went on a tear after he lost to Ocean Man, and he beat Orlando 2-0. Yannick got a 2-1 versus V89, and Moo got a 2-0 versus Flyme. Wow. Any thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, some surprises. Kent, that's big. I mean, again, he beat Moo and then Orlando, two really, really strong players, two of the best players in the league. So yeah, Kent with a really rough start, but a great turnaround here today. Moo with the bounce back after losing 2-1 twice today, gets the 2-0 against Flyme. He'll definitely feel good about that. And then Yannick, another one that I would probably consider maybe an upset win. The 89 is 2-0 already today, but Yannick bouncing back from the 2-0 loss against Consis to take that match 2-1.
Yeah, very cool. Again, Debray's sick today. That's why those matches are grayed out. Just worth mentioning. I don't want anyone to be curious and wondering. Those matches still will be played. He has just come down with a bad sickness. He's got pneumonia. So he'll be back. We'll see him. But after those matches, we had matches either earlier today or last night, depending on your time zone. And then we had this lot of matches today that we just watched. These are the overall standings now. Consis has moved up to 4th place with only 8 matches. That is unbelievably impressive. Moose sitting in 5th, V89 8th, Orlando 9th, Sazu 10th, wow. And Ocean Man up in 11th, wow. Really cool to see all of this, how it's played out, where our players stand, RC in that first place spot. Any thoughts when you're looking at this, Jake? Anything you want to touch on? Anything you want to talk about?
I mean, again, that sort of benchmark of roughly 2 points per game is, I think, a thing that the players are going to be aiming for. So we see Consis 22-8 is well above that. Moo is exactly there at 22-11. He's got to feel pretty good about where he is too. And then Sadzu as well, 15 points in 8 matches. Very, very close to that mark. So yeah, that's probably roughly where the players need to be for the top 12 eventually. To be honest, that would probably get them top 6 or 7. But that would pretty much confirm that they would make the World Cup. But again, it's also worth noting that the players aren't just playing for the auto qualification spots, they're also playing for the regionals qualification spots, which means they have to finish top 60% in their own region. And I think, I don't know how exactly that's going to shake out in terms of the standings, but I would imagine roughly top 24 is what you want to be looking for there. So a lot of our players today are right around that mark, so definitely still sort of on the edge of where they need to be.
Yeah, one thing I want to just point out again, Finbar has not played much. He's still only played 5 matches, and he's sitting in 13th. Dev has played 10 matches and is in 14th right under him.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable to look at. The 5 matches from Finbar 13th. I can't wait to see him play again. Should be really, really exciting. Also, Lenley making a move up from today's matches. Really nice to see him there now. 22nd, 7 matches, 12 points. Pretty good place to be at.
Yeah, 7 matches, 12 points. That's a great place for Lenley to be. And again, once he plays as many matches as the rest of the players, that will probably put him up in around the top 10.
Yeah, should be great. Lovely to see him play. Lovely to see some Sunglass action again as well. And Swan too, only 2 points, but really hasn't played too many matches yet. So hopefully he can play some more games, make his way back up. Only 4 matches. I believe that's the lowest of anybody here. So maybe Swan makes a bit of a comeback, I believe. I think it should be good. I don't know, yeah, anything else here? I'm liking taking a look at everything. Foul a little lower than some people expected. But again, we're early. We have many more weeks to come, many more weeks to go. A late game tear from Fao could bring him back up. We'll see.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that strength of schedule is different for players. You know, it's possible that Fao has been sort of overloaded with matches against the better players. I don't actually know. I don't have a measure of strength of schedule in front of me, but I think, you know, some players have played a lot more stronger players and some players have played weaker players. So that might also affect their standing. So you never know about that.
Definitely. If you start and all you do is play RC, Blinky, MK, Consus, Moo, might not be super indicative of where you actually are at overall. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. Guys, we're working out a Consus interview. There's a little bit of technical difficulty, but if we can get it, we're gonna get a chance to talk to Consus. So hopefully that happens. But in the meantime, you got me and Jake for a little bit longer. We're here for you. We hope you guys have been enjoying. I want to know if Chad has any favorite players. Like, where's the love for who's your favorite? Let me know. I'd love to see it. But yeah, guys, it's been great. I'm excited for more games. Next weekend should be fun. You know what I want to think about? I think if anybody in chat's been watching the recaps on the GeoGuessr YouTube channel, which you should go check out, I think my Bloom's Best of the Week, should I spoil it? I think I already know. Ooh. I think it might be that exact point V89 Trickster round where he
awesome.
won on the exact points. I mean, that was... I've never seen that happen. I've been casting GeoGuessr since the first Rainbolt tourney in 2022, and I've never seen that in a game. So
I want to say it may have happened to me in a Rainbolt tournament. I don't remember if it was the exact or if it was just very, very, very close. But there was a round in an early Rainbolt tournament. It was like Hokkaido, I think, where we lost I think it may have been the exact amount. And I've also seen 1 health once in my entire time playing GeoGuessr. I had a duel against somebody where they were down to 1 health, and I was like, oh my god, I'm totally going to lose this, aren't I? Thankfully, I didn't, but I don't think I've ever seen 1 health happen on the world stage, so it would be fun if that
that'd be fun. We got a 4. We got a 4 today.
We did take a 4.
We had an 8 and a 4.
4, yeah.
in the same match. That's pretty unreal. Today I had some very exciting games. I will say I think the V89 Trickster was my favorite and most exciting one.
Oh, that was an awesome one. Yeah.
That one was really great.
We are spoiled to be able to watch these and talk about them as well.
We are a little spoiled, but it's nice. Did you have a favorite from last night?
Oh, last night. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember how those games went down. I think we had... I think Foul versus Zigzag was a good one at the end. Oh man, it's only been like 12 hours and I already can't remember. But,
no,
we had a couple good games, but I don't think any of them were quite as crazy as a couple of the ones that we saw today.
Yeah, today was great. Today was really great. I got to watch some of the ones last night. I didn't get to see all of them, so I'm going to definitely I'm going to be going back for the recap at the bare minimum, but I always like going back and making sure I know how everything's going, get that analyst brain on lock, make sure everything's ready to go. So we'll take a look. We'll see if anything exciting happened in those two. Definitely check out the recap this week because the schedule was a little weird. We only had 1 main broadcast, and then the normal slot at what was it, 12 CET did not happen, because we needed a little week for the Europeans to take a bit of a break and for Americas and APAC to play each other last night. and then still one more slot today, which was a good time. Guys, we're still waiting on Consis. We do apologize for the wait if any of you are really hoping to hear from him. We're trying our best to make it happen, but apparently he uses his phone as the camera, and so there's a bit of a we're experiencing a bit of an issue. But you know, we'll get in there if we can. So, oh, I'm hearing now, guys. I'm just gonna word. It's not working. So we're not gonna hear from Constance, sadly. But hopefully you enjoyed us yapping a little bit, talking about all the GeoGuessr goods. So, guys, that is actually gonna be it from us. We do hope you enjoyed the stream as always. It's been a lovely time being your host today. I am Bloom. Want to check me out on Twitch? Come through, chat with me. Joined by the legendary Jake Lyons. What a goat. We love hearing all of his knowledge, all the breakdowns of everything today. Jake, anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
No, not really. I don't know. This is fun. I love it. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support from everyone. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate you. Stay tuned for the recap and join us again next week, guys. I've been Bloom, and as always, peace.